Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the podcast. We are supported by Proper Design Works. For all your custom clothing and embroidery needs, look no further than my friends at Proper Design Works. They've got two sides of their business, and I have used them both in the past, and here's why you should. The first side is the bulk order side, the big order side. Patches, hats, hoodies, sweaters, any sort of branded clothing that you want to get your logo on and get the word out there. You're your sports team, you want to look flashier on the field. Are you a charity that has a message that you want to get out there? Are you a new business and you want to advertise your logo instead of paying Google to do it? Just a few of the reasons why to check out my friends at Proper Design Works. They are incredibly talented, super fun to work with. Creative types. You know the type. We're the off-the-wall ones, the ones who question everything. And not everybody can figure this shit out. So go see some talented people, and they're going to hook you up. The second side of the business is the custom clothing side. It's fun to have a tailor. It's fun to have an idea and to sit down with someone and see that idea bear string, in this case, and then get on your body, whether it be a bespoke tailored pair of jeans or a new hoodie with some really cool flair on it. It's going to be designed by you, for you. You're not going to look like 100 other people. And someone's going to say, hey, where'd you get those? And you're going to be like, I had them made. Proper Design Works. Don't take my word for it. At Proper Design Works on Instagram is where you can find them. And then when you're ready to place your first order, it is info@properdesignworks.com. We are also supported by Bodegos, a global food experience in the heart of the Exchange District in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So whether you're rolling through town or you're a local and you're like, hey, I need a new place to eat tonight, what should I go check out? Make it Bodegos. First of all, when I say global food experience, what I mean is they serve stir fries. They what else they got? Pita bread, like flatbread pitas, pita sandwiches, fish and chips, soups. Basically, everything that they have on their menu is from different pockets of the world with all the different flavors. Okay, my go-to meal is the chicken kung pao stir fry. Not too spicy. I have never made it home without eating half of it to date, and I have known of this place and of Nick Van Seglin, the chef and owner, for an incredibly long time. So next time you're downtown and you're like, what do we do? Where do we eat? 211 Bannatyne. Go to Bodegos restaurant. Tell them we sent you. There's tons of shit to do after too. Like, you want to go around the corner and have some after dinner drinks at the King's Head, Peasant Cookery, or Bijou, the new open patio in the market there. These are just some of the other local businesses that you should support. But go to Bodegos to eat first because it's so delicious. This week on the show, we have Jimmy Skinner, myself, Martin Navarro, and Rob Strachan making an appearance again. This is a sequel to last week's episode. If you did not tune in, last week we argued shitty movies that we think were better than they actually were based on the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes. This week we're taking globally loved cinema that everybody and their dog fucking adores and arguing why it's shitty, why the story's bad, why it shouldn't have been made. I don't want to say the names right now because there's some billion-dollar hits on this list, so give it a couple seconds, I'll be done. I want to send a thank you out to everybody in Canada. We are in every province. So yay for us. Thank you to everybody who's listened. That was a really cool feeling to see that one morning. And there's a little pocket of people in California I want to give a shout out to. I don't know who you are, so get at us. Let us know who you are at thereeldebaters@gmail.com. That email is important because going forward in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be playing some games, and the only way to get entered is to send us an email. So thereeldebaters@gmail.com is how you do it. To California and anybody else for that matter, send us an email with an idea for the show. Send us something you think should be argued on the show. We're here for you, man. We'll take anything. We're dirty dogs for that kind of shit. I don't have anything else, so let's just cue the reel and you enjoy the show. All right, gentlemen, thank you for showing up again to another week in the living room. We are going to start the show off pretty simply. I want to talk about what makes us cry. What movie scene hits us in the heartstrings every time we see it, and a little tear rolls down your eye. So, Martin, let's start with you. What movie makes you cry like a little bitch?
It's actually a 2001 Korean film. It's called My Sassy Girl. I didn't know this, but it's based on a true story. It was a series of blog posts from back in the day from a guy, and he basically adapted this into a film which was then later adapted into a book, and then later adapted into a bunch of other films tried to remake it, like across Asia. Like I think China tried to remake this, Japan tried to remake this, India tried to remake this. I'll just give you a little background. What the story's about is about this guy. It's a rom-com, and it's about this guy who's an engineering student. He's been good at everything else in life except for his romance life. And one day his mom tells him to, hey, your aunt's very lonely since your cousin passed away. Why don't you go visit her? So on the way to visit, he's on the subway and he sees this girl who's like a little drunk, and she's kind of over at the edge and leaning towards the tracks and almost looks like she's going to fall over. So what he does is right before the train comes, he rescues her, ends up having to take care of the stranger because she's so wasted and she's like passing out. So he ends up having to take care of her, make sure she doesn't she's safe. He tries to make sure she's safe. Never ends up visiting his aunt. And basically they form some sort of relationship throughout the years. This film is like, the span of this film is 7 years. So that throughout the 7 years, their relationship has kind of been on and off. And she's always the one breaking it off. And then later you find out the reason why she's breaking it off is because she's not emotionally ready because she went through a traumatic experience. So 7 years go by in the ending. And this is the scene that gets me. The ending is because it's the girl, she's having lunch with this older lady, and they're saying, don't you think, like the lady's like, don't you think it's time to move on now? My son probably would have thought that 7 years is enough time. And then she says, I think it's okay now. I think I'm over him now. I think it's, it sucks, but I think I'm over him now. It took 7 years. And then she's like, oh, and then she says hi to this man approaches the table, and then she says hi, and is like, oh, you remember like 7 years ago, I wanted to introduce you to my nephew. And the nephew is like the guy who was supposed to visit his aunt on the subway. Like that was the whole reason for her visit. She thought that they would be a good match.
Okay, yeah.
It's weird. Like Koreans have this weird way of doing something in cinema that's just like you don't expect. They just have a way of putting it to the next level. And I think if you guys have seen Parasite, you know what I'm talking about. Like this film does that with romantic comedies. It's kind of like Serendipity, but on the next level. And this came out, I think, the same year as Serendipity came out.
Okay, and Serendipity. I mean, have we all seen Serendipity?
I have not.
I love John Cusack.
Yeah, it's one of those classic. It does steal from John Cusack's history of being a rom-com master, just where two people meet and then they're not supposed to be together, so they try to set it up so they see each other again, which thus serendipitous.
So that's what happens in this movie too.
Okay,
it's
cool.
very much like that. Like whenever she breaks it off, it's very. They're always like missing each other at certain points. It's like it's very like someone changes their number or someone loses their phone and they're trying to catch a train and he misses her on the train by like 5 seconds and stuff like that. So is it the fact that it never works? Like actually, first question is it rooted in something in real life? Like does this kind of hit home? I said this is based on a series of blog posts.
No. What I mean is your life. Does this strike you as something that is like?
No, I think it's just a cool rom-com film. It's funny.
Okay.
Like she's very, well, I guess in a way, like I like girls who are a little bit mean to me, and the girl in the movie is very mean to the guy. Like she's always like bullying him and stuff. So maybe that's a little bit of what I like in women. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Tell us more about that.
Yes. No. Let's fuck movies for a second. Do you like ball gags? That's all I want to know.
I am no stranger to a pair of car batteries with jumper cables. Let's just say that. All to me, by the way, not to my partner. All to me. I just,
Oh boy, buddy! Things I'm learning about you.
I can't pay anyone enough money for this.
So, quick question. Now we're talking about car batteries and cables. Do you have to shave where the skin contact comes with said jumper cables?
You don't have to, but it's recommended.
Is it recommended? Yeah.
It says so on the battery.
The smell of, I don't like the smell of burnt hair. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because then
I
everyone
like
in the room has to suffer.
So you gotta. Yeah.
You only want the person being tortured should be the only one suffering.
Yeah, it's definitely recommended. I would definitely not do it.
Correct. I like how you said back in the day blog posts. So is that how back are blog posts that old now? Like
I think people still blog.
I'm feeling like I'm It's like that. Like I guess were blogs happening in the late 90s?
Yeah, no, that's I remember
because back in the day it seems to me like timely old letter written in cursive. But I guess that's how it works, right?
Stamped in wax.
Once something's 20 to 25 years old, it's considered a classic, so we can say back in the day. It's crazy
it's
to
vintage.
Think how long some of this stuff has been around.
I like how I like what you're getting at though, Martin. Like it does sound like the unrequited love and the chasing the love, which I mean we've all, I'm sure, in this room felt at one point or another. What's the one scene that makes you bawl like a baby? Or is it just the entire movie?
That's the ending scene.
Oh, it's the ending scene
where
okay.
they just basically, you find out, they were supposed to be set up together. That's why he was meeting his aunt originally, was because he wanted him to meet like his cousin's dead fiance, because he thought they would be a good match, and they kind of look alike. So they were just, and they're personality wise, they're kind of the same too. So that's why, it should have happened 7 years ago, but it took 7 years, and it eventually happened at the end. Okay,
all right, Rob, what makes you cry, buddy?
7 years of blue balls.
Okay, can you tell me what a movie though, instead of
yeah.
Up until last week?
You haven't seen that?
No. Is that the porno for 7 years in Tibet? Could be.
Yes.
Could be. 7 years of blue balls, 7 years in Tibet. You see where I'm going.
All right.
Tell me what makes you
make
cry.
that now.
I'm going to take a point
All right,
away.
let's talk about.
I'm in the negative already.
Let's talk about emotion.
Okay.
Emotion, and I'm not talking robot emotion where it's tears of oil. I'm talking about true emotion here.
Tears of oil, like as in
like robots. I assume when they cry, they're oil tears.
yes, because it's the only lubricant that's in their being.
Correct. It's like
why was I programmed to feel pain?
Well, I guess Bender would cry liquor, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Right,
fair
whatever
enough.
fuels you.
Yeah.
I've got a couple. I think one of the ones that's probably been most recent. I know most people hate on Man of Steel.
No,
I really like
it.
it. It's actually probably my favorite Superman movie. And the scene where they're on that highway in Nebraska under that overpass and the tornado's coming and Kevin Costner is kind of reaching for his son and he can't get to him and stuff like that. And he puts his hand out like, stop. Go help your mom. Like even just thinking about that scene, it kind of like pulls on my heartstrings. And that scene,
I got goosies
every
right now.
time,
Yeah.
it makes me fucking cry.
I don't blame you.
Sometimes you just gotta let those kids drown on the bus. Sometimes I don't care if you're Superman, you let him die on the bus.
And I mean it's funny because most superhero movies aren't able to evoke that type of emotional response, but
that's big emotion in that scene.
Was that Zack Snyder?
I think so. Yeah.
That was Zack Snyder. Yeah.
And I mean, I genuinely like that movie. I like the fact
nothing
that
bad
when
to
he
say about
takes
it.
off and there's like swirls of like dust and shit.
Or the ground like presses in.
And
as
Zod
he
is
bounces
so
up.
good.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon is Zod.
Michael Shannon's the
Is
shit.
fucking
I think people weren't ready for it.
I also
know?
didn't realize how tall Michael Shannon really was until that, because he towers over
He's a big
Henry
man.
Cavill.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's big in Boardwalk Empire, but I don't know, he just seems menacing in that movie.
Easily, I'm going to guess he's 6'4", 6'3", just based on watching him in certain scenes. But he does even the conflict that Superman has inside between picking Mother Earth or Krypton.
Totally.
There's a lot of emotion that battles, but yeah, that Kevin Costner scene is, and it's
good.
It's very, Kevin Costner has a bit part in it. Like he is, he's dad, but he's very strong in all of those scenes. Right?
He's like Diane Lane in that movie too. They in every scene they're in, their impact is felt, and that's why it's the best. It's the best Superman movie made.
Did they play catch in that movie at all?
Oh, not Field of Dreams, you bastard.
Was there a cornfield?
There was a cornfield in Kansas.
There was, but there wasn't dead.
They did not
baseball
play catch?
There wasn't old-timey baseball players coming in.
Ty Cobb helped Superman at the game?
He didn't go get Darth Vader to assist with creating the Field of Dreams.
Okay, I'm confused.
Just for a second though, can we imagine Clark?
That's that's James Earl Jones.
Right.
Can we imagine?
I don't refer to him as Earl James though. He's motherfucking Darth Vader.
Clark and Dad playing catch. Can you imagine Clark's fastball? Like that's just not something you can do with Dad. Like,
all right, Clark, put it right down the middle, buddy, right into the glove.
And that then brings us to the famous Mallrats conversation that only Wonder Woman can handle Superman's loads.
Exactly, because she's built to take it.
All right, Rob takes an early lead.
Marty, does that scene pull at your heartstrings out there?
It does. It is a very I agree with everything. I like Superman Man of Steel. I thought it was a fun movie.
It's a fine movie.
Yeah.
It is like, it's weird that there's 2 Kevin Costner scenes that kind of pull at my heartstrings. I just find that so weird.
What's the other one?
Field of Dreams.
Field of
Dreams,
Dreams,
man.
man.
He just wanted to play catch with his dad.
Come on.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Dances with Wolves, or when he's like riding on the horse at the beginning, and the Confederate soldiers are shooting at him and missing him.
Because him and the horse are playing catch.
With bullets.
Yeah.
Correct. I've seen this.
Jimmy, what makes you cry?
Well, you know what's funny? I'm going to talk about something that made me cry laughing hysterically in the theater. When I saw Joker and he gets to the stairs and they start playing the Jock Jam. That was the funniest, best part of the movie, and no one else in the theater was laughing.
I would have loved to have been in the theater with you.
This is the dumbest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe it. This is fantastic. I had to leave.
This is the Joker?
Yeah.
Like the newest one?
When he's dancing down the stairs, they play a fucking Jock Jam.
Hey,
yeah.
Gary Glitter. The old Jets scene. The old Jets
Nobody laughed.
goal song.
I know.
Nobody laughed. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
Did you see the clip of him getting ready for the scene?
Yeah.
It was so great because someone was standing outside of an office building, and there's the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, dressed up, and he's just trying to get into the moment, and he's just dancing to the beat in his head, and then clearly the song plays.
Jock jams.
Yeah, Jock Jams.
Well, Joaquin Phoenix is borderline insane.
I believe so.
Remember when he left Hollywood and
I'm still
became
I'm still here.
The
Is that
fucking
what it's called?
crazy recluse for 3 years for some shitty movie his buddy Casey Affleck made, and
did you hear how that all ended?
No, I don't even really.
It was a practical joke.
I know it was about it. That's what was so fucked up about it. But it's like a 3-year fucking thing.
Yeah.
That guy was on this crazy fucking insane trajectory, and he's like, fuck it, for 3 years.
He came off of Walk the Line, Oscar winner, ready to the next 20 years of his career is pretty much set. And then him and Casey Affleck are like, let's go fuck with the entire system and show them that just because you win an Oscar means fuck sweet all.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome.
It's one of the greatest pranks I've ever seen.
But it's crazy at the same time.
It didn't have the payoff that I think they wanted because the
news cycle's so fast with Hollywood that they were like, who's this fucking guy? He won an Oscar when? It's like, oh, is he on the Kardashians? Because if he's not, we don't care.
He's dating Chloe now.
And you can peg who Chloe dated by which part of her body has been augmented with different plastic surgery.
Exactly.
Tristan Thompson, Chris Humphries.
Chris Humphries had the butt. Tristan Thompson had the breasts. That's where the photos.
No, Chris Humphries dated Kim Kardashian.
Sorry, you're right. I can't keep up with that shit.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good for him.
Yeah. Your Us Weekly knowledge is weak sauce.
Well, usually Mark is here, okay?
Yeah, pop culture aficionado.
Usually Mark has all this info.
So Mark's hardcore, has the TMZ like hooked to his veins.
I don't know, but I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. It's either that or God knows what.
I actually do have an answer for this.
Okay.
I'm glad you guys mentioned Casey Affleck because when I watched Manchester by the Sea for the first time,
yes,
that was just an amazing movie. When it starts, you don't really know where it's going to go or what it's going to do, and then I'm going to spoil it. It's been 5
out
years.
Long enough. Our spoiler is 2 weeks. Anything over 2 weeks, we can talk about.
Are you fucking for real?
I am for real. I give it 2 weeks if it's in the theaters, and if it's not,
just
we
say spoiler alert just in case.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen a movie from 2017. Go on.
Definitely watch Manchester by the Sea, though. Yeah, and you find out he accidentally killed his whole family, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ.
That's pretty hard to swallow.
That's heavy.
And he goes to the police station expecting to go to jail for the rest of his life, and they're like, this was an accident. There's nothing we could do. And now he just has to live with it forever by himself, and it's just the saddest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
It's pretty crushing.
Yeah.
I did one. I've only seen that once, but I was it's that ugly quivering lip cry that
it's hard to fit your McDoubles between them.
It totally is.
Is that why you grew a beard to hide that? That makes sense now.
No, I grew the beard because I ate too many cheeseburgers and I wanted a jawline.
That's
why I grew the beard. This Ukrainian round shape.
That's the Michael Petro reason.
Yeah, there it is. Marty knew me pre-beard. Marty knew me with eyeliner, nail polish, and no beard.
Oh my God, I wish I'd seen that, Mike Petro.
I'll put the pictures up on the Instagram feed after. They're on Facebook. There's 3 or 4 of them where I'm still. Remember those days, Marty?
No, because I blacked out a lot of those.
Oh, okay. Nope. There's a lot of.
Were you going to D Machine a lot?
No, Whiskey Dicks and Alive.
He was wearing the shorts from last week.
Yes. Yeah.
Part of the outfit.
I was.
Is that where you met my brother? Like when he was bartending there?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
The one night that I bugged him the most. This is totally tangent, but it's worthy because you'll find this funny, Rob. It was my birthday, and I kept coming out every 10 minutes and being like, "You haven't given me my birthday shot yet." And this was like 8 shots deep, and he just kept feeding me like the worst. Like he would make the worst shots, like the girly, sugary ones. My 27th, 28th birthday, the entire hangover is dedicated to your brother. Easily.
Awesome. All lemon drops?
Lemon drops, dirty hookers. You name it, but when
He was just giving you sourpuss by the end of the night, and you didn't even notice.
Water. It was
Yeah.
just water.
It was like a drop of sourpuss in water. Oh, this is fantastic.
I'm so drunk.
So, that's a really good impression of me.
Thank you.
Is that how you cry or is that how you puke?
No, that's
It can be both.
Chris D'Elia's that he does that skit with drunk girls.
Oh yeah. You mean the skits he'll never get to do again?
Yeah, I
He's
guess
kinda
so.
fucked.
Yeah.
Him and Callan, man, I tell you, that's another podcast. So I cry with my little eye something that is Goodwill Hunting. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault, Will. It's not
Great
your
movie,
fault.
by the way.
Do you guys remember that scene?
Yeah.
That's the scene when he just dumped Skylar and he's still trying to be all tough and shit, and he goes to see Sean, sorry, and Sheen. There we go. Everybody's happy, and Sean sees an opening. Robin Williams' character
I think it's
sees an opening. Cian. Fuck off.
Simone?
Shaniqua.
There we go.
And
Shan. Just Shan. No one said Shan.
Shania Twain. That's who it is. Sorry, guys.
The E is silent.
But anyways, Robin Williams' character sees an opening with Matt Damon, and it's just that continue of "it's not your fault." And each time he says it, it breaks down a barrier that he's had from his horrible foster parents beating him, and you know the whole line of my foster father would put a belt, a wrench, and another tool on the table, and he would just say choose. And then Robin Williams says,
I picked the table.
Well, you picked the table. You beat me with the...
How could he possibly...
I think if you said that, you'd get beat with all
All
4.
3, yeah.
For like,
oh, God.
thinking outside the box.
Here's what you get for being imaginative.
I will beat that out of you.
But just Robin Williams responds with, well, I'll take the belt. And then Matt Damon says, well, I'll take the wrench. He says, well, why? And he says, because fuck him. And that's the moment where I'm like, okay, this is a very bruised boy who's had a really hard life. And the whole father aspect, too. Like I've made mention in the past about how...
Because our boy's freaking smart.
He's fucking smart as fucking anything, boy.
Wicked smart,
Wicked
dude.
smart.
My
Wicked
boy's
smart.
freaking smart.
I want a double burger. Speaking of Casey Affleck, we'll put your burger up here and we'll put it on layaway, and then every week you can give me 5 cents, and by the end of the month you'll have your fucking burger.
Yeah, you've earned your point.
Thank you.
I love that Boston accent. It makes me want to just drink beer and fight
And
people.
wear khakis.
Just
But yeah,
wanna
so that's...
it makes me want to be racist at a Celtics game.
You know what? Now that you brought up the whole Robin Williams, another one that's really popping in my mind. I'm just gonna throw another one out there.
Yeah.
Dead Poets Society.
Yo, Carpe Diem.
Yeah. Like,
Carpe Diem. Oh, Captain, my captain.
yeah, like you're not a human being
If you don't cry.
If
Yep.
there isn't like, and maybe you don't full on cry, but there has to be that, like a little bit of that, just like a touch of the whimper.
You'll like show it to your kid someday, and if your kid doesn't react, you're like, we got to get a new one.
Yeah, it's like chemical sterilization.
This one's a problem.
Oh no.
Okay, quick question before we move on here. Martin, do you act like you're not crying in a theater if you're with somebody who doesn't know you well? Like maybe a date? Like do you let the tears flow on a first date, or
I
do
just
you?
avoid that.
Okay.
No, I don't take a first date to a movie that might make me cry.
Well, okay, I
What the
shouldn't
hell
say.
kind
Hang
of
on,
rookie
no.
mistake is that?
Let me rephrase. The
Yeah, you
first.
go to Transformers, bro.
Okay, yeah,
But Transformers might make you cry because if Optimus dies,
That's true. Yeah.
Put the cube in
I
my
cried with you
chest.
in Avengers, didn't I? Did we cry in Avengers Endgame?
We both cried in
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame
Yeah.
together. Yeah. I don't know who put.
But everyone
whose
was
hand
crying
on
in
the
Avengers.
other
I don't know who
Like,
pulled
everyone in that theater.
whose nose hair to make us cry, but that was a man's movie.
No, I guess okay. So when you go to a movie with someone for the first time, do you let the tears flow? Because first date movies, we've already talked about that. That's a bad idea. But excuse me. Do you let the emotion get to you in front of somebody you don't know, Marty, or do you stuff it down deep inside?
I stuff it down.
Never
like
show weakness.
Never.
Yeah. Just bury it down like I'm digging a grave 6 feet under.
All I can think of right now is, are you Ladies Man 269? After he mentioned Transformers, are you Ladies Man 269? Rob, do you cry in front of people you don't know at a movie, or do you act like a man? There's nothing wrong. There's either way is fine.
I mean, at some point in my life, I think I was programmed to be as stoic as possible.
Okay.
But I think I've had
Medusa, fucking cold.
You were raised by Michael Caine?
I'm Michael Caine. I am Michael Caine.
If you have an issue, here's a tissue.
Beautiful, man.
That's a beautiful fucking movie. Now we're gonna talk. That's gonna be fat bastard the whole rest of the fucking episode. No, I mean I had a pretty significant kind of thing happen on a personal level years ago, and that kind of opened me up, and I did a lot of self reflection and stuff. And now I'm at a point in my life now where if I cry a little bit in a situation, then I cry a little bit in a situation.
Yeah.
And honestly, on some level, I actually think being able to allow yourself to openly cry is actually more manly than stuffing it down.
Agreed. Martin, what do you say about that?
Fuck the naysayers.
Damn, that's progressive, man. Damn.
Fuck you and your 2020 lifestyle. Jimmy, do you cry in public?
Oh, yeah. When I saw 1917, I cried.
Yeah?
At the theater. That was a good movie.
And you know what? I think I cry too. It's funny because last night or the other night or whatever night, me and Sean were watching something, and you know what it was? It was World of Dance is what we were watching. I know this isn't the movie. I know I'm breaking rules, but just watching some of the art on screen, like I'm affected. My point is that I'm affected by not only a movie scene but something beautiful. And I think you're ripping off the person by being like, I'm not going to fucking cry. Like, let them affect you. When a director and a team of people get together to make a movie and the scene has got that intent, to sit there and be like, fuck you, I'm not going to let you get to me. That's kind of rude. Like, you should go through the motions is what I'm saying.
I'm not going to feel this.
Yeah. You know?
On the World of Dance, was the episode about the Macarena? Is that what made you tear up?
Chicken Dance.
Hey, Marco. No, it wasn't.
Okay. Beautiful song. Beautiful origin.
Very, very choreographed, lovely movements.
Okay.
I can't begin to tell you.
Is this a Netflix show?
No, World of Dance is on like NBC, I think. Jennifer Lopez's
regular
show.
cable?
Regular cable. Well, I've cut the cord, guys. I don't have cable anymore.
Is Mike Petro a boomer?
What?
No, I just like dance. I love to dance. That's kind
Learn
of
to code, boomer.
Yeah.
Learn to code.
Learn to code. Fuck off.
For those at home, Michael just did a full split.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And
Thank goodness his shorts were that short.
Finally a use.
all right, gentlemen.
If you didn't listen to last week's, definitely do, and you'll catch the short shorts reference.
All throughout the episode.
I can show you what would have happened if you want, Rob. With these shorts, I can just,
No.
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 Well, Martin, you can't see shit. You don't get a vote.
I still don't want to hear it.
I'll describe it.
I'll describe it.
I can describe it for you,
The
Martin.
pubic hair on his balls looks similar to a cat's. What's going on here?
Which looked similar to the
Rest of the
hair
cat.
on the cat's face.
Yeah.
Discuss.
All right. I'm keeping us out of a rabbit hole here, gentlemen. Let's move on to the fucking show. Ding, ding, ding. Debate time. Jimmy, please tell everybody what we're debating, because this is a sequel to last week's debate.
Yeah, writing credits
is
all
this,
around.
Sorry, can I just, before you start, Jimmy,
Yeah.
is this hater month? Is that what we're doing?
Hater month. You know what, Martin? If there was ever a year to hate everything, it's this year.
It is very true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, this is very meta. Yeah.
So for this week, we're just taking last week's topic and flipping it upside down. You take a universally loved movie and explain why it's actually a piece of garbage, or why nobody should actually like it. Maybe the movie doesn't have to be a garbage itself, but just explain why it has bad themes, bad tones. Yeah.
Perfect.
Right?
Martin, we're going to let you go first because you're the furthest guy away from us. So please regale us with your pick of what a universally loved movie and why it is an absolute dumpster fire.
I don't know. He said dumpster fire. I remember it's a movie that shouldn't have gotten all the hype it deserved. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't personally, for me, I didn't like this movie. The movie I picked was Titanic, and I always like to think of Titanic as this. In Entourage, James Cameron had a cameo in a couple episodes, and someone asked him, like, what was the purpose of Titanic? And he said it was to make teenage girls cry. And if that was the purpose of Titanic, I think he did it. But as a director, like James Cameron, this is his
Call Me a
his
Teenage
movie
Girl.
lineup, by the way, right before Titanic. So as a director, he had like Terminator 1984, 1986 Aliens, 1989 The Abyss, 1991 Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and then 1994 True Lies, 97 Titanic.
So why would he do? That's a weird. Like it just feels like
Because he likes history and water.
Oh, that makes sense because he did a lot of like the underwater diving stuff himself, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
He
why he did.
got
That's
a
why he did
submersible
Abyss as well.
hard-on
Actually,
for Titanic, I guess, right?
Marty, I can tell you his real obsession is he's got a deep love for Navy ships.
Oh.
And ship history and shipbuilding and stuff. So
Which
that's
era of Navy ships?
I didn't go that down that far.
Circa
That down
World
rabbit
War
hole.
One.
I'm sorry. Call the fucker.
1906 Navy ships.
Mr. Cameron,
Double
what ships
mast.
do you
I
like?
like a combination of steam powered and sail.
All right, go on, Marty. Why else is it a piece of shit?
Okay, so I'll tell you about this. I think the hardest part about picking this movie was having to rewatch all 3.5 hours of it yesterday.
Did you watch the whole thing, or did you fast forward a few times?
I watched the whole thing, and I watched it high. Not a good combination. Just say that.
Were you stoned at all?
I mean,
I was high. I was so high, and it wasn't a good combination. I actually
did
made
you
the
almost
movie
fall
slow
asleep
down
a
bit
couple
more.
times? Did you have to espresso up a couple times?
Did I have to what?
Did you have to espresso up? Like have an espresso? Like say
No, I had to take a break 3 times in the movie to smoke more weed just because I wanted to not be sober for it, so I didn't have any
I'm not
alcohol
even
in the
mad.
house.
I'm
so-
impressed.
Right?
A whole wheel of cheese.
Is it the story that bothers you? Is it the acting? Is it the casting?
It's okay. I'll just there's a couple of things I wrote about this.
He's got some qualms.
I think I want to say the one part of the movie that I did like was the beginning. With the Bill Paxton character when they're kind of discovering the ship Titanic. I'm like, oh, this kind of reminds me of The Abyss, which is a movie I love by James Cameron. And I thought the movie, like,
That
I
Bill
was so
Paxton's
high
in.
that I thought, like, wow, what if the movie was this? And I thought that would have been a cool part of the movie, just like kind of a continuation of The Abyss, but discovering
Psych.
the Titanic.
Abyss 2.
You didn't feel that Bill Paxton was like trying to be too fucking cool though?
He totally was.
Hey, yeah.
Like trying to be Goldblum.
You know, but he was like hitting on like the grandmother's like daughter and all those scenes
was
and like,
too
I fucking the
nice.
shit out of her. Yeah, we're gonna find this thing. And
He was too excited. That was what it was. He was like he couldn't wait to like unravel Grandma and find out if she really knew where the heart of the ocean was.
I agree. This movie fucking sucks. And I've got
Yeah.
one.
Well, hang on. Before you
Let's
go,
not give it to Martin just yet.
Yeah. Like he has to bend over willingly, okay?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's considered non-consent. So,
So one of the other
yeah.
things, I just want to say too, one of the other things that sucked for this movie was when I was doing research, I forgot that Bill Paxton died, and I just was sad even more watching it.
Yeah, that'll do
So
it. To
hold
you.
on, you're gonna blame Titanic and Bill Paxton's death for you not liking Titanic?
Yeah, the fact that he has
Yeah.
he had congenital heart failure.
Is Titanic's fault?
Somehow
It's
James
Titanic's
Cameron is involved in this fucking conspiracy.
Fuck
theory.
you, James Cameron, for putting Bill Paxton in every one of your movies.
You ruined
and
him.
making him a movie star.
Weird Science was good enough.
Aliens, man, Hudson.
Hudson.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm
We're
Hudson.
gonna die here,
over.
man.
Game
We're gonna
over.
die.
Put her in charge.
I'm
I want to
Hudson.
talk
He's
about the
Hicks.
acting too. So the acting for this movie, I didn't think it was great. I didn't think Kate Winslet deserved the nomination for it. And I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't really think I liked him as an actor until like maybe around after 2000. Maybe I think
Beach.
maybe around Inception.
Really?
Like, I really liked
You
him.
don't like him before
Yeah, I
Inception?
didn't like him as an actor. In the Titanic too, I thought the language was forced.
You didn't
It
like him
wasn't
in
the acting wasn't
Catch Me
great.
If I Can?
This Boy's Life with Robert De Niro?
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't think he
Gilbert
was
Gilbert
great.
Grape? Yeah.
Yeah. No, not a fan of Leonardo.
Damn,
No.
Martin.
Take away a point.
Did you like-
Dude,
can
what
I
about
ask you
the
this,
acting
though?
of Billy
Can I ask you-
Zane? Billy Zane was so
Billy
good
Zane.
in that
So
movie.
terrible.
Silly Bane.
It was
Silly
all
Bane is
bad.
what we're calling it from now on.
It's like a silly Batman villain.
Silly Bane.
Remember when he did the movie The Phantom?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
I wore a Phantom ring, ironically, for 6 months.
Unironically.
Marty, just so you know, actually for everybody here, Gwyneth Paltrow, Winona Ryder, Claire Danes, Gabrielle Anwar, and Reese Witherspoon were all considered for the role. But
Wow.
Kate
Won a boxing match.
won a boxing match against Gwyneth, and here we are.
Really?
No, not true.
That's amazing.
No,
That makes the movie good now.
And this is pre like technology. She would send little handwritten notes to Cameron every day. Like she'd mail them out so that they would land every day. And
Who's
they
this?
Mail them by carrier pigeon.
Kate Winslet?
Kate Winslet.
Were they the ones that like they unfolded, like they were the thing?
I don't know
like,
if they were
that you could, like,
origami,
flip like
but,
like a fucking ninja star in class.
It just said, "You suck, Cameron."
You suck until you hire me. Well, no,
It just said fuck
but, like,
you and spit.
spit and blood.
I'll do this role only because I want to be in T3.
Nice.
Well, yeah, but she persuaded her way in. So that was how she got there. Was these little notes, and Cameron was finally like, "Hey, come to Hollywood and
I didn't
test
hate
screen."
Were each of the notes actually you put them together and it was one of those things where you go and it was like an animation.
It's like a
of some
long
sort?
story.
Yes,
of,
it was a flip book.
of James Cameron giving her the part.
each
Giving her
page,
the part.
giving her the part. Anyways, Marty, what else you got?
That was crude.
I just didn't like Kate Winslet's accent. I don't know if it was just me, but it seemed like
That's her
it
actual
was
accent.
not British,
That's
but
just
it
how
was
she
British,
talks.
and it was English. It was like pick a side, like pick a lane.
Did you
Like,
say it
what
wasn't
are
British,
you?
but it wasn't English?
It wasn't American, North American. It wasn't British. It was something. I
Whatever
was
Zilly
like, pick
Baines
pick
It was
a
a
lane.
drunk Welshman.
Think of the drunk Welsh.
Okay, so we don't like Kate Winslet. Bill Paxton died. James Cameron just wanted to make young girls cry. What else you got?
Billy
And
Zane.
the language was bad. Like the script was terrible. I think that it was just all too predictable. It was so cheesy at times.
Well,
and, like,
I mean,
you know,
going into it, you know the boat's going to sink.
yeah.
You're already well
I
aware.
think that's why
Like
you
the-
you
I'm the king of the
tolerate
world
all the
line, like-
shittiness.
Yeah.
Like he didn't win an Oscar for Best Picture because of the fucking screenplay. It
Well,
was. It
so I wanna
was.
say
no,
this
that's a good
about
point.
Titanic.
Did it win Best?
Did it win for Best Screenplay?
No.
I don't know if I had that note.
But you know-
I
you know,
I know it won for Best Director, and I know it won for
Yeah.
Best Picture.
Well, I could see
Oh,
why
Best
for
Best Picture,
like
for
those
sure.
that. Okay, Best Director makes sense.
Hang on, I'll tell you guys right now. Okay, so nominated for 14 Academy Awards, which tied All About Eve for the most ever.
Didn't see that coming.
It won 11 out of 14.
Is that because it made the most money ever up to that point?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it did, because it up until that point it was the most expensive and most successfully.
Hey, quick side
financially
note:
successful.
did you know that James Cameron has made the most expensive movie 4 times?
Yes.
in his career?
So like
Yeah.
Avatar,
Which-
Titanic.
which I'm like-
Aliens
Right.
and the first Terminator.
Weird.
Which I'm gonna
Wow.
open up the floor now to put Martin over a
Oh,
barrel.
I'm not
here.
done yet. I'm
Oh,
not done
okay,
yet.
sorry.
Whoa,
hang on.
there's
I'm
more
fucking not done
shit
yet.
about this.
There's
It is
more.
3.5 hours.
Yeah, no,
It's
his
what
argument
you
should
Are
be
you going to
long.
talk about the raft at the end? Please talk about.
I'll
the
say this.
raft.
I'll say this.
He's saving it for the end.
I'll just close by saying, you know, this for Best Picture, this movie beat out Good Will Hunting.
Wow.
And I can't stand that this movie beat out Good Will Hunting when
everyone hates
basically
Gus.
the script is based on the lyrics of Uptown Girl. Like that is the whole script. Read the lyrics of Uptown Girl, and that is the Titanic script.
Well, that's because people in America have a grade 6 reading level.
That's too fair, I think.
That's You're
You're being nice.
you're giving them points they don't
You're
actually
being
go to school
way
to get.
too nice.
We love you, America. But
Utah!
We just know your education system is fucked, not you.
I heard everyone in Utah is really nice.
I mean, everybody in Utah is married, so
Is that because they wear magical underwear?
Okay, Marty, what else you got?
And I'll just say this. I'll end by this. You know, it's basically a love story, and then followed by like 2 hours of just a snuff film. Just people dying for 2
Pardon
hours.
me?
That's what this whole thing is.
Titanic is a
Basically.
snuff film. I
That's
like that.
That's where. Okay, so snuff meaning that potentially a bunch of people are going to die, and all we're doing is watching slow death.
And you know what's going to
That's it.
happen. I think Martin's right.
Yeah. Okay, I can actually see that.
I don't think they had enough room to bang in the back of that Model T.
If we're being honest,
You
no.
don't think there was like the script continuity got a little fucked there? where they
Yeah,
were
and then
like,
at the very end,
"This
there's
isn't
like
real."
it's all fogged up, and then there's like this cum-covered hand that like.
Can I just say
slams.
this, Rob? I just want to say this. Life finds a way.
It's true.
That's true.
It's true. It's true.
That's very true.
Babies have been made in the back of smaller vehicles, I'm sure.
So like, hold on. In
Yeah.
a plane is the Mile High Club. What is doing it in a car on a boat?
would that be going to Mariana's Trench?
There we go.
Is the boat on
that-
the
is
bottom
that-
of the ocean, or is it
One
still
ping only,
floating?
Vasily. One ping only.
The
Well
mile
done,
below
Marty.
sea level
The
club.
mile
Could it have been on a cool boat like the Lusitania?
I know what it is. It's the 30 Fathoms Club.
Wow.
There it is. Because that's
it.
how
30,
deep
yeah,
it
that's a
went
good
down.
one.
How about 20,000 Leagues Club?
Okay.
This is fun. Everybody's getting points. Everyone gets a point. Check under your chair, Martin. You got a point.
Okay.
Ooh.
I don't. Nice, Jimmy. I don't know if I've got it. See, the thing is this is about proving why it's bad. So for us to counter and say why it's good, it's really the argument is about agreeing if it to agree with Marty if it's bad or not. So I don't even know if we should counter with this.
Can I say a couple things
Yeah,
that are good
sure.
about the movie?
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They built a giant, massive, water tank, and they actually built an on-scale replica that they actually of the boat actually turning. So they didn't rely too heavily on CGI. They added some additional things in the actual filming when it went, but the fact that they were able, they built such a massive tank, and secondly, the fact that they had half the boat that actually turned and flipped, and they did the shooting on that.
You read your notes, young Skywalker.
I didn't actually read the notes. I just know this.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Michael.
I didn't have time to read the notes.
Because you said send me it 2 hours before because I forgot to.
Hey, is there a script for this week? No.
No.
But no, I think that's really cool. And I mean, when you look at the opposite, which would be Avatar, where it's basically almost 100% CGI.
Yeah.
For a
It
camera
just
movie.
looks so weird if that was all practical.
Oh God,
Yeah.
would it ever?
Well, the movie would have cost like $6 billion.
to play on what you're saying, just to give you this, Rob's right about all this, by the way. So it's a 5 million US gallon tank that was used.
I only like UK gallons.
Okay, I'm sorry. Used for sinking interiors. All right, which the entire set could be tilted into the water, which is pretty fucking unbelievable. I saw when they did A Dog's Purpose here. I went to the set that day and saw the tank they used for the water scene. And it was fucking huge. And it was nowhere near even 100,000 gallons.
Boy, did they drown that dog.
They fucking drowned that dog.
Was there a real dog they drowned?
No, they didn't drown any
good,
dog.
'cause
Somebody,
that's
that
really
video,
fucked
they...
That was just like a thing that came out that said they were torturing the dogs on set, but they weren't.
And they weren't, because if you look at the video clip, it's edited.
Isn't
Yeah.
there for movies? Isn't there an agreement that someone from PETA has to be on the set or
I can
from,
even-
that kind of
I
thing?
can
They
take
would
you-
never even it wouldn't. It's
No.
just not.
Yeah,
something
they only
that would
kill
happen.
humans on the sets of movies, not
Exactly.
animals.
There's 4 or 5 dogs that are all the same breed that are brought in, and when one is getting scared or getting stressed, they take it out.
Oh, okay,
and they
cool.
they rotate. So
It's like Cole and Dylan Sprouse and Mr. Deeds.
exactly.
Just swap them out.
So
Fair.
5 million US gallon tank for the sinking interiors. And then in order to sink the Grand Staircase, it was 90,000 US gallons of water were dumped onto the set and lowered into the tank.
Yeah,
so
that's Christopher Nolan style shit.
It totally is. And then to go against with what you're saying, there was a 45-foot miniature that was used to show, what was it here? Oh yeah, so that was on the motion capture stage, was the 45-foot miniature, but the 65-foot miniature was designed to break in 2 repeatedly.
Right.
So it was all practical shit. It was pretty fucking neat.
Plus, they also used those underwater drones that they use, and they actually filmed a bunch of cool extra scenes of the Titanic underwater, and I think those were similar. That was kind of a tie-in with the Abyss that he had done a few years prior.
With
and
the
that's
roving robots
and that's like
and
his
shit, yeah.
that's his fucking hobby. I mean, the man built a fucking submarine and went to the bottom of the Marianas Trench, for fuck's sakes.
I know.
James Cameron, we appreciate you. We just don't like Titanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I
you
don't
could-
think
Exactly.
he actually likes Titanic.
Right? Like,
I
I
think
think
he
he-
just
you're
made it
right.
to make it, and he's like, yeah, motherfuckers, most expensive, made over $1 billion, and then he made Avatar, and he's like, suck it again, mic drop twice.
You're right.
Dude just had a hard-on for water. That was a film for him. He
Yeah,
just wanted
ships
to
and
make
water.
a
He
He
should
film
have
with
done
water.
Waterworld.
That's it.
Imagine he'd done Waterworld. How awesome it would have
dear
been.
God. Kevin Costner. Everything's full circle, baby.
That would have been a $1 billion mistake if it was the same script instead of a $300 million washout. Okay, cool. Anybody else want to attack Martin here before we carry on?
No, I mean, I think you're
King of
right.
the
No, I mean, I think what you said was right. Like, there's no reason to
Yeah, like
dive into it. It's people either like it or they don't. I particularly don't like this movie. So I'm kind of with Martin here.
You know what's crazy is that people went and saw it multiple times in the theater.
I went
Could
and
you
saw it
imagine?
7.
Really?
Yeah.
How many times?
Well, there was 4
Did
girls.
you,
There
did
was
you
4.
say 7?
Hang on, there was 4 girls.
Get out.
7 times.
Yeah, there's 4 girls. There was
Wow.
4 girls I was interested in, and 3 times were with other groups. But I did see it 7 times in the
Wow.
theaters.
You have impulse problems.
I do.
Dude,
I
somebody
I
do
have
the
ADD.
math on that. What is that? 7 times 3
21
is
hours of
21
Titanic.
plus 3.5. That's a whole day of your life you spent watching that movie in the theater.
Why do you think I hate it? like
Like,
you guys, Martin's only seen it twice. I
Did
saw
you
it
fall
7.
asleep any of those 7 times?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Now
I didn't.
you're
I didn't go in with bated breath, being like, more, Rosie, more. Like
that's
it wasn't.
so many cheeseburgers.
Well, no, cheeseburgers were a late decision in life. I wasn't a cheeseburger addict at 13, but
Well.
maybe I was. Maybe that's how I got here. Who knows?
Yeah.
Rob, I would love it if you went next.
Oh, you want me to go next?
Rob, would you go
Okay.
next?
Yeah, so the movie I chose is American Beauty. It came out in '99. It won a slew of Oscars in 2000, including Best Picture, Best Director, Sam Mendes. I think it won Best Screenplay, Best Actor, Kevin Spacey. Annette Bening did not win. I think that was like this big upset and stuff like that.
But nominated.
And Warren Beatty held her caressed her at the Oscars because she was sad and all
Thank
this kind
you,
of stuff.
Warren Beatty.
I mean,
At least you could do something right at the Oscars.
when I saw this movie originally in the theater, I liked it at the time, but I watched it last night, and just like when I think I watched it probably about 10 or 12 years ago, it doesn't fucking hold up. It doesn't.
No.
It kind of came out at a particular time, late 90s.
99.
We're on a fucking economic high. You know, the Cold War's over. 9/11 fucking hasn't happened yet.
Are
George
you going to blame
Bush-
this on 9/11?
No.
We blame Titanic on Paxton.
No, I blame it on box cutters. I also refer to box cutters as tower taker downers.
Wow.
Oh.
Christamundo.
It's been fucking 19 years.
You're
dude.
right.
Come
No,
on.
our limit is 2 weeks. You're right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's a different spoiler.
That aside, I mean, the roles are pretty good. I mean, Kevin Spacey's pretty good in it, but I have a weird sour taste in my mouth now since kind of everything that's kind of happened with him in the last little while. And the reoccurring theme of a 40-year-old man going through a midlife crisis and perving on his daughter's teenage friend and fantasizing basically about fucking her and
Especially with
eating,
who Spacey is now.
and
I'm
then
with you.
making out with her and then pulling rose petals out of his mouth and stuff like that. I don't know. I get where they were going with it, and I know it really helped solidify Sam Mendes' career, and he's made some great movies since
It's got a
then.
big Woody Allen vibe to it.
It totally,
Yeah,
it totally does. And with the whole Epstein thing going on right now,
It just
and
feels weird.
It just felt kind of gross.
So, if it came out now.
and honestly, I mean, the movie's good, but it's not that fucking good. And I think because it got everyone at TIFF that year had such a fucking hard on for it. I'm dead serious. It carried
No,
all
he's
the
right.
way through to the to the Oscars. But here, I just want to list the movies that were also nominated for Best Picture in 2000.
This is interesting. Okay.
Cider House Rules, which
Good night.
has
movie.
Michael Caine, right?
Good night, you
Full
kings
circle,
of New
baby.
England.
But I mean, I didn't like Cider House Rules. I
Michael
thought it was
Caine.
major fucking boring, but whatever. The Insider came out that year with Russell Crowe.
Oh God, that's such a fucking amazing
The Green
movie.
Mile,
The
which
Outsider
is a
The
sequel.
Green Mile?
the Green Mile got nominated for Best Picture that year, and there's another movie that makes me tear up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
that's-
Tom Hanks, and the fucking Sixth Sense was nominated that year.
Whoa.
And I want you to think about how good The Sixth Sense is. I want you to think about how many shitty movies M. Night Shyamalan has been allowed to make
The Village.
because he made that one fucking such amazing movie. And think about in 50 First Dates how they have to rewatch that same movie every single fucking day.
Every day.
That would kill me after a while. But honestly,
that's pain,
I believe that this movie got ridden with some hype, and Kevin Spacey just carried it along. That it's way fucking overrated. It's got crazy Rotten Tomato scores too, 89 and 93 and shit.
It's less than Captain America: The First Avenger. For some fucking reason.
Worse than that?
It is. Captain America: The First Avenger has 96%.
I like that movie.
Okay, it's fine. I just think all superhero movies are the same and that they should be at a flat 50. But this is for a different conversation later.
What does Team America have?
Fuck, probably it deserves 96.
It does. Durka, Sherpa, Sherpa.
Hang on,
Muhammad Jihad.
Can I carry the conch here for a second? I think I know what you're getting at, and I did write this down because I was like, I wonder if this is going to be part of somebody's argument. But scholars and academics have offered many possible readings on American Beauty. Film critics are similarly divided, as you've said, but not much the quality of the film is their interpretations of what it means. Described as many as the meaning of life or the hollow existence of the American suburbs, the film has defied categorization by even filmmakers. Mendez is indecisive, saying the script seemed to be about something different each time he read it. A mystery story, a kaleidoscope journey through American suburbia, a series of love stories. It was about imprisonment, loneliness, beauty, funny, angry, and sad. It's too busy, I think.
It is, and it's creepy. Like even back then,
creepy.
He's
Just
holding
creepy.
the fucking camera and he's recording her and stuff. And it's like it's that situation where you're like, is this where infatuation turns into stalking? You know?
Right.
And then there's that fucking scene, which is the quintessential scene of the whole movie, where he's filming the plastic bag for 15 minutes. And it's so beautiful. There's so much beauty in the world. I just can't handle it. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
No.
I think the best line of the whole movie is when she's being banged by Peter Gallagher and she's like, "Give it to me, your high and your majesty." That made me laugh.
Marty, what's Vancouver got to say about this?
I saw this in theaters, and I don't know about you guys, but I laughed at that opening scene when Kevin Spacey is starting his day and just jerking off in the shower, and nobody else in the theater laughed except me. I pulled a Jimmy where I had to leave the theater just because I was laughing so much.
If only they were playing
You know
some
what?
jock jam.
You know what? To your point on that too, it's funny too when he goes and starts jogging with the gay couple down the thing, and one of them scapula, and he's kind of like, "So why do you want to do this? Do you want increased energy?" And no, I just want to look good naked.
And he starts buying weed and smoking up and working out. It is.
He's listening to the Who and Floyd. And
It is creepy, but I think its creepiness is on purpose.
It totally is.
It's not supposed to be celebrated, but
but people do.
But they do celebrate. It's hard to celebrate something once you know how dark and deep and weird Kevin Spacey is.
It just feels
now.
like we were setting Kevin Spacey up for his future life or his life that he was currently living.
Do you think he's just never broke character?
That's what I mean. And it's like Crystalia and you. It's like, oh,
That's
he's
why
just
he's such a
playing
good
himself.
actor. He's playing himself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then it's even funnier for them. Like inside, can you imagine where they're like, nobody knows.
I'm
this
sure
is
they're
the
just
real
loving
me,
it.
and I
They're
get
like,
to
this is
fuck
so
with
easy
everybody."
for me.
Yeah. I don't even need to get into character. I am the character.
I actually feel like House of Cards, his character in House of Cards, that is actually Kevin Spacey.
Well, when he broke
Quite
from
possibly,
the
yeah.
show and did those two little things
As Frank,
As
that
Frank.
was fucking weird.
yeah, I'm like,
what
okay.
awesome.
This is an unhealthy man.
Yeah, there's something rotten in Denver here for sure, or Denmark. I don't never know.
It's Denmark, but I like that you said rotten.
Something wrong in Denver.
Denver.
And it's not this
It's
omelet.
bad CBD.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Rob. It's an art house pick. I think. I don't think it necessary. And I mean that's why TIFF. That's why Tribeca.
Can I, on that note, can I say this? Is this the reason why this won Best Picture? Is because the Academy at that time was probably run by just old aging white dudes, so they could relate to this movie. Is that why it won Best Picture?
Maybe,
Yeah, quite
totally,
possibly.
Totally. The other thing is too is when I say it's not terrible, it's not a terrible movie. What I'm basically getting at is it doesn't live up to the hype. It doesn't it doesn't resonate on the same level today. It doesn't live what's the term when you watch something years later and it's not good?
Staying
Up to the
power.
hype,
It doesn't-
or doesn't hold up?
It doesn't hold up. It doesn't.
So like
hold
if it was
water.
released now,
Yeah.
you think it like let's say it's released now.
It wouldn't
maybe
get
not with Kevin Spacey,
it wouldn't
but
get made today.
okay.
It would have a very hard.
It would be super independent. It wouldn't have a major
Unless your name is
studio
Woody
release.
Allen.
yeah, unless you're.
I feel like he's finally not gonna get a movie made now.
Yeah. Well, they're still letting Roman Polanski do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck.
from Europe. but-
Rosemary's Baby was really fucking good. That's why.
Yeah, we've had that conversation. How can you look at a talent, and can you look at that person as a shitty human being and separate talent from the person? I can.
Is it cancel culture with that kind of situation? And that's such a complicated one too, because the girl in the situation says that she's forgiven him and moved on, but it's with this whole Epstein thing. It's something that I think really kind of almost that comes to bigger attention nowadays.
The only movie that Woody Allen's going to get to make is the Epstein bio. That's it. That's the only movie they're going to, because you know enough.
That's because he was there, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, him and Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
We just found that out this week. That Stephen,
Jesus Christ.
But he was there for a charity event. He wasn't there. I mean, they were business partners.
Yeah, I hope it was just a charity event, or else, do I have to burn my copy of A Brief History of Time?
They were giving the girls away instead of selling them?
Fuck, that is some dark shit.
I love it though.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Jimmy.
Oh, right. We're doing the debate. Okay.
We're not going to talk about adrenochrome and Jerry Epstein.
We did. I woke up this morning to our guy chat with Rob, and I was like, "Why are we talking about adrenochrome at 10 o'clock in the morning?" But whatever.
Because that's the way I roll. And I was so busy this week, I didn't get to chat on it very much, and I had this pent up shit. Anyway, go on.
Jimmy.
All right. Well, it's actually playing in the background. I picked Ferris Bueller's Day Off for this week. Universally loved movie. Like, I genuinely don't know a person who doesn't like this movie.
The
at
entire
least a
fucking
little
school
bit.
loves Ferris.
Principal Rooney, man.
No, I don't mean just Ferris himself, but the movie. Like, everybody, you can talk to anybody, and they've seen this movie. They love this movie. Mm-hmm. I was talking to Mike a bit before we started the show, but my whole argument this week is, like, we're supposed to cheer for this guy, but he is the most manipulative sociopath on the face of the planet. Literally opens his eyes the first time we see him, he is manipulating his parents. That's the first thing he does in the morning. Absolutely disgusting human being.
Is he worse than Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell?
Fuck, Zach Morris is trash.
Somebody call the garbage man.
It's kind of close. I think we just have a bigger sample size with Zach.
Were you an AC Slater fan, Jimmy?
Let's just say I related pretty hard to Dustin Diamond. Okay.
Okay. So 5 years away from you making your own porno? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
If we're lucky.
I have the sound gear, Jimmy. All we need is the camera.
After he manipulates his parents, he immediately jumps into manipulating Cameron into coming and dealing with his bullshit. And again, like Screech, I feel so incredibly bad for Cameron this whole time. And maybe it's because I have him tattooed on my back, but it's whatever.
I thought it was Steve-O.
No, Steve-O has Jimmy on his back.
That's right.
Sorry.
My bad.
He's like, honestly, I just don't see how we're supposed to root for this guy when he does these kind of things. And everyone, did you guys have someone in your school that was just like was untouchable, basically, like Ferris in a way?
Well, Rob, you went to River East, didn't you?
I did.
And I went to Miles Mac, and these are schools. Because Jimmy, you went to school out of town, I guess. Right?
I went to Selkirk.
In Selkirk, yeah, okay. The comp, right?
Well, yeah. Lord Selkirk Regional Comprehensive
Which
Secondary
the only
School.
reason I make that point is because I feel maybe a rural school. Like, did they have them at your school? Like,
we were 10 to 12, about 1,300 kids.
Holy shit!
So no one was untouchable.
Okay,
but that's how big River East is. River East was 1,500 kids, and it was 10 to 12.
We were only.
But River East, it had a wide segment. It had like your rich kids from East St. Paul.
Yeah.
It had your middle class kids. From
I went to your
North
dances.
Coponin,
I know what
and
it's all about.
you had kind of like then there was like a lot of Manitoba housing around. So
So
had
it
the
wasn't-
whole demographic kind of.
So it wasn't necessarily one kid as a group of kids.
I don't think we had a Zach Morris.
But there was definitely at River East. There was definitely kids that were untouchable, or
And I gotta say, I fucking hated him with all my heart.
So did I.
I really
man.
did.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine
They got a
going to
brand new
Ferris'
car when
school.
they were 16, man. Fuck those guys.
And like
Fuck 'em.
he
Fuck
barely
'em.
goes to school at all.
Yeah.
And everyone still loves him and knows him, even the fucking teachers. And the secretary says he's a pretty righteous dude,
That Ferris
I
is
couldn't
pretty
imagine
righteous.
hating someone more than hating Ferris Bueller. Just because he's getting all this undeserved attention and all of this love for no fucking reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just
There's
a
a-
jealousy
Is it
thing,
because
but-
you secretly want to be him?
Oh, most definitely, and that's why I think Cameron hangs out with him all the time. Think about it. Why would look at? We're watching this right now on the background. Cameron is literally having a panic attack, laying down because he can't move, he can't breathe because Ferris has put him through all this bullshit.
And
But is,
Ferris- but
is
Fer-
Cameron actually doing this secretly so that he can get like the sweet,
Closer to Sloane?
the Sloane touchy?
Fine, quite possibly. And this, like the whole thing, it just brings me to the end of the movie where Ferris, they're trying to reset the car. His mileage, right? Trying to reset it back.
It's probably one of the best scenes.
And it
Awesome.
crashes through.
Yeah.
It crashes through the window, through the garage, and Cameron's just like, you know what, man? I'm good with this. And you're going to tell me that Cameron's dad didn't get home and still beat the living shit out of him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
but Cameron's dad
That's bullshit.
deserves for that to happen because then he went with a glass garage. Fuck that guy.
Well, you know what? Was
Fair.
he still wearing the hockey jersey?
But Ferris...
That would have made easier for
Cameron-
him to beat him up. You know what I mean?
Cameron
gonna
can
pull it up
say
over his
yeah, he
head.
jerseys him. It's funny. I just like Cameron can't just sit there and say, "Yeah, you know what, Ferris, you're good." Because Ferris isn't good because Cameron's dad is still gonna get home and fucking murder him. Like that's not. You can't just. Ferris is gonna go home with a clean conscience because Cameron said he was good, even though Cameron's still gonna die.
Yeah.
But isn't
no.
Cameron's
He
dad
left
like
his- he
super
he left the
rich
man
and that
behind.
shit's
Cameron's
insured?
drowning himself as we speak from what Ferris put him
I mean,
through.
he crashed a Ferrari. That's a pretty big deal.
But Ferris saves him.
Oh no, Marty. You know you're right. You're right. Like
That's because he wouldn't have anyone else to torture.
True.
it.
With his sister,
Yeah, he see
Principal Rooney.
You're not helping. You're helping you're not helping yourself here. You're helping me because these are just more people that Ferris has put through absolute hell for no reason
but
at
it's
all.
also for comedy, and I like the comedy.
It's for the art, man. It's for the art.
I don't.
I think, can I say this? I think it came out during a time where, you know, middle class to high class suburbia was a thing. So a lot of kids probably related to it. That's probably why a lot of kids saw it. Because
I hate all the kids that relate
went
to
those
Ferris.
types of high schools.
Hate
it's
them all.
also it's also kind of like this is Reagan America right now, right?
Most definitely.
And this is suburban Chicago, waspy, blah blah blah. And I think like I mean it's showing the rebellion of what the 80s kind of epitomized, right? For a lot of people.
Were there any Asians in this film? I don't think there were any. I'm
no,
just saying that, not thinking about it.
There wasn't
Probably
even
were
a
not.
token black guy.
You
in this
could say
movie.
that for any person of color. There was none in this movie.
No.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen's like the badass, like person in it. Oh, you're
Speaking of
Yeah,
which-
Charlie Sheen right now. I just don't think this is a movie that people should idolize.
he's so pasty in this.
It's good, right?
It really is at its core, Jimmy, and I'll agree with you on this one. And maybe Martin can back me up here when I'm done. But after everything you've said, it is about the slime ball getting away.
He's
with
he's
murder.
an absolute slime ball.
But he's
Yeah.
so charming.
Well, no, but that's John Hughes' problem for you, not for the viewer, because Broderick was the only one who was considered for this role. It was his charm,
and
it
Matthew
was-
Broderick killed a guy.
Can I be honest with you though? I've always felt that I've been somewhat manipulative, and I've always gotten away with a lot of
Do
things.
you
so
relate to
maybe
him, you
I-
piece of
I
shit?
kinda
Do you have Ferris poster on your room?
I have to hate you.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
jack off to it every night. I actually don't have a poster anymore. It's ingrained in my spank
I
bank.
see.
What, Marty? What do you think about all this?
You know, I like the movie. I agree with what Jimmy said. Like the character is a piece of shit, and I'm just wondering, like, he's probably the guy who's, you know, the head of Enron and had that whole scandal happen at the end of the whole thing.
I'm
right?
so
Like,
happy
that's-
you said that, Martin. Because
Halliburton.
I was
Halliburton.
telling.
Lockheed Martin.
Oh, I'm so happy you said that, Martin, because I was telling Michael before the show that Ferris is literally growing up to be like a young Patrick Bateman. Like he's
Yeah.
he's a full-on sociopath.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be someone who desires to kill people.
I don't feel like
His
he
dog
has the
will be
dedication.
killed by the end of next-
I feel like
yeah.
he doesn't have the dedication though to do that many sit-ups.
He doesn't have to. He'll just have it because he's perfect the way he is.
Yeah, and mommy and daddy love him, and they support in every decision that he does. And
They'll
his
get him a
si-
trainer.
Yeah, exactly. No,
True.
he's
True.
a
So
fucking
I have to
he's a
ask you guys a
weasel.
question.
He's
What,
a little
what
weasel.
movie is the continuation of Ferris Bueller as an adult?
American Psycho.
It
That's it, right?
it doesn't work with the dates.
Avengers Endgame.
American Beauty, actually.
Yeah, there it
Yeah,
is.
there it is. Rob, you got anything else before we move on here, Marty?
Get it.
I like this movie,
I
but
know.
I get your argument that Ferris Bueller is a piece of shit, and that's why I brought up the Zach Morris things because
Right,
Zach
it's-
Morris is trash. videos on YouTube.
Very good
and
similarities.
as soon as you brought that up, that's the first thing that popped in my head.
Check those out. They're very fun.
They're fucking hilarious.
They're really funny.
And you realize how terrible Zach Morris really is.
We idolized him, and I can't figure out why. Slater was a great dude. Everybody should have liked Slater.
Yeah, preppy.
Yeah, but he wasn't a dick.
No, I get. He was.
He didn't have a cellular phone, though.
You know what? That cellular phone and those fucking Zubaz pants that Zach always used to wear with the pump up. They're the epitome.
And the frosted tips.
They're the epitome of what Hollywood thinks we want.
That's
to
right,
be.
and that's what Ferris is.
Exactly. Like if we want
An unreachable goal of a terrible human being that we should all.
So, are you not a
Which-
big John Hughes fan then?
Oh, I love John Hughes.
but it's interesting because now we're approaching the end of the movie where we're now in the glass garage that you love so much, Rob, and help me, Jimmy. I just know
Cameron?
Cameron, thank you. I was going to say Ruck because that's his real name. He's the loser.
He's so good
in the
in
end of the
Spin City.
movie. Like Ferris and
I don't
Sloane
think he
walk
has
away.
other friends.
Yeah, so he's been. You know what? I'm not proud of this, but there was a kid in our group that we took advantage of and used his house for a party and totally wrecked it. He's the Cameron.
Yeah.
You know, and like that. What I appreciate about it is it does pull from real high school life in regards that not everybody's equal in this movie. And
In the follow up, I hope Cameron beats the shit out of Ferris Bueller
God,
in
that would
college.
be so satisfying.
Like just
Right?
pummeling his fucking face.
I don't know. I feel so bad for him. Like he didn't deserve any of this day. And me and Michael were
Robot
talking,
Chicken needs to do
Something like that, right?
something like that about
Cameron's
Ferris
dad
Bueller.
gets home and just beats him with a wrench.
I'm gonna write an email to Seth Green.
well, here's some fun little tidbits about the movie that I looked into.
So
here.
Cameron and Ferris, they're going off to college, right? Like this is their last year of high school.
Yeah.
They're never going to see each other again.
Well, no, because he gets Cameron gets a 1580 on his SATs, and fucking Ferris, his dad pays so he can get into
Harvard or Yale.
No,
or-
Waldorf in a
Right.
or wherever the fucking school Trump went to. That's
Right, and Ferris ends up being the one who's more successful because he's got the money to do it, and we're supposed to cheer for him.
No, because
He's the 1%.
Because he's a backstabbing cocksucker manipulator.
Right, he's built for it.
But you know what? Good guys finish last.
Before I close this out here, gentlemen, I just this was some fun stuff I found out. The insert shots of the Ferrari were actually a 250 GT California.
Oh,
So anytime they're in the car, and they made only 100 of these cars. So they had to make replicas for the movie because when they break it,
Yeah.
and how many scenes they had to go through, they weren't going to break a car that only 100 were ever produced.
Why not? What? Do they have the budget for that?
They do have the budget for it, but at some point you have to tell yourself, like, you know, this is dumb for art, right? Like to wreck a classic car that has almost a priceless.
yeah.
I don't know. It seems right
Tag.
in line with Ferris Bueller's personality.
Right?
Oh yeah,
We're
wreck it,
gonna
break
make
it,
this
fuck
movie.
it all. Yeah,
Everything's fine.
take no prisoners.
So before we switch over to Michael, do you guys have a guess on what day it was that he didn't go to school? Does anyone know? Like I have no
Which
idea.
day of the week?
Yeah, what day was Ferris's day off?
Let's start with Marty. What do you think? What day it was, Marty?
If you had to
I gotta
guess.
go with Wednesday, hump day.
Hump day.
Right,
Oh, okay,
middle
yeah.
of the week.
Break up the week, man.
Okay.
I feel that.
Rob, what do you think it was?
I couldn't see it.
I think I'm gonna agree with the Wednesday.
Yeah?
yeah.
I couldn't see it being like a long weekend type scenario either.
No.
No,
No, I couldn't see it being a Friday or a Monday. He'd definitely go middle of the week. Maybe even Tuesday.
I think a Monday, but I always like calling into sick on a Monday, so that's where my I don't like calling in
Yeah,
sick,
but the true Machiavellian plan would be to call in sick on the Wednesday because the Monday seems too obvious.
it is, yeah. And then when you do it and you show up on the Tuesday, just like with school, you show up and you're like, why do you look so good? Well, I had an extra day to get better. You know, like you got a lot more to cover for on a Monday or Friday than you do in the midweek. Okay, all right. Wednesday it is. Fuck it, you guys win.
No. That's fair. Your Monday argument was okay.
This is the best part where he's just about to like one
It's
last
not your
kick.
fault, Mike. It's not your fault.
Fuck off.
It's not your fault.
Well played, Marty. Well played. Another little factoid. The parade scene took multiple days to film. Broderick spent some of the time practicing the dance moves.
The problem was he kept running people over in the parade.
You know what? The parade scene's kind of cheese dick now. It doesn't hold up.
Honestly, I'm so glad you said that because I missed it.
It doesn't hold up.
It's just stupid.
It's stupid.
It's a weird musical part thrown into this movie that has no other musical part.
Yeah, it's like, let's do an ensemble dance.
It is over the top, but you know what? It's funny you say that, Rob, because it was choreographed. But then when they went to go film it, Hughes was like, "Just do whatever you want." Like,
well, that'd be more parade
but they
feel.
still remember the choreography.
Yeah, like he was told don't get in line so much with the choreography where everybody else is doing it. But they did shoot it multiple times. Like I think they took three or four. They took fucking. Wish you guys could see this. They took 3 or 4 Saturdays to shoot it, and the last Saturday was the one where it finishes. And like they were sending out countless advertisements for people to show up,
just extras
to cheer. There was 10,000 people there at one point. And Broderick says he finally figured out why rock stars get off on stage so much, because the end scene when everybody's clapping and cheering, he was like, this is just fucking crazy. And can you imagine though, like as much as the scene is over the top and ridiculous and really has no point in the movie, just imagine how cool you'd feel by like skipping school.
Yeah, I'm sure Ferris has a problem feeling cool.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Sorry for the
story.
I'm sure that didn't just pump up his ego.
Can we do a quick survey? Which Broderick movie do you like better, War Games or Ferris Bueller?
Oh, War Games.
War Games.
Yeah, probably
War Games is great.
I thought you were going to ask me which one I like the most, which I would have said Godzilla.
And that's why Ferris Bueller loses every time.
That's true.
Thank you, Rob.
Do you wish to play thermonuclear war?
What's in War Games? Was his character the guy to form Anonymous? Is that who he is in the end?
With his tape deck fucking computer system.
Martin jumps into the lead.
I was just going to say that's point worthy. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to close this off. I picked Stupid Is as Stupid Does, Forrest Gump.
I think we all knew it had to be in here.
It had to be talked about, and I didn't really. I was trying to stay in the realm of known, but I didn't want to stray too far from it. But at the same time, I was like, no, I need to talk about this. So the first thing that I came up with was it's way too.
Be careful what you say here, Mike. Be
Oh, dude, no, I did my research on this because I'm on the side of how this would not. I'm in the same ballpark as Rob was, where if you tried to make this in 2020, it wouldn't pass the sniff test.
Would not fly.
So the story never really takes off. It's almost 3 hours long.
Oy.
And it's just short stories. They're great short movies.
Do you think this could have been I don't want to interrupt you, but
No.
do you think this could be better as like a TV series or something? Like if it came out that way? No.
No, you know what?
Because you need to see the whole thing together, I
Okay.
think.
I think it would have been done. It could have been done really well the way they did Green Mile, where they released books with certain sections of the movie, and then when they made the movie,
Okay.
they put it all together. I think it could maybe, looking back, or how they would have been able to do it now, would be like his story in the war would be a great part of maybe a 4-part movie of the week kind of thing.
Lieutenant Dan!
You know, like where Vietnam is one part.
He was probably there for I don't know how long they would serve for back
minimum
then.
3 years.
Right?
So is that how long a tour was?
Well, not a tour.
I thought a tour was one. A tour was 1
Well,
year,
no,
right?
you'd serve for 3 years in the military, but you do anywhere between a year or more on a tour, like
Well,
8
but
to
then he
12
gets
months.
the Purple
he
Heart.
did play ping pong for a fucking long time.
That
He
was
did.
but he gets the Purple Heart, right? So I wonder how long into his tour that was.
Well, the Purple Heart is based on bravery, and that was rescuing
no.
Bubba and everybody.
Purple
No,
Heart
you
is
get
getting
injured
injured.
in
Oh,
battle.
Yeah,
that's
I got-
injured.
Where'd you get shot, son? In the
In the
buttocks.
buttocks.
So length is a big problem for me, only because it doesn't have that gradual progression of like we get to a big
get you.
point.
It feels like it's at the same
Yeah,
Gotta say
level the
that.
whole time.
He
It's
said
not a
that.
low, it's not a high, but it's yeah.
flat to me. What were you? Sorry, Marty. What were you saying?
I was just saying, you pointed out length is a big problem for you. That was a British joke.
Why did I let you say that? Clearly,
That'll put Martin at an even
I only
5.
like movies that are 88 minutes long.
8.8 inches and less?
that's why I really like 88 Minutes with Colin Farrell. No one's seen that. Jenny is a terrible fucking human being.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
She's trash.
First of all,
She's fucking trash. But she's also damaged.
she's grade A fucking crazy.
Yeah.
She is. If any of you
She was given no hope from the start. though.
totally.
No.
Well, I mean, it's not fair that Daddy was Daddy.
Also, does Forrest have AIDS?
No, because
I think he's good.
I think he was. I
So
think
she got AIDS after?
Well,
yeah,
having
like
sex
during
scene,
her
that's-
drug days and her.
But
yeah, but he has sex after that.
You know, I don't think he's smart enough to get checked either, so it's very possible that he does have AIDS.
Which is a plot hole, which I was going to get to. But there is a huge plot hole there because she shows up, they have sex.
They never specify, though.
No, they
never
don't.
specify what disease it was.
I'm going to go with
that's
AIDS.
interesting.
AIDS or cancer.
I thought they did. I thought they did say they.
It's
alluded-
assumed.
No, they never said.
It's assumed that it's AIDS because it's right around the time where AIDS starts to
right.
show its ugly face, and then it's but. It's never
Maybe it
really
was
in pain.
cancer.
But back to my Jenny point, she's grade A crazy. So if either you came up to me and said, "Man, I met this amazing girl," well, if you said it like,
She wants to be on the podcast.
if you came up to me and you were like, "I met this lovely woman named Jenny," I would tell all of you to run for the fucking hills.
Is that because you don't like the name?
No, it's
because he just felt like running.
Can I say this, though, about Jenny? I think Robin Wright did an amazing job acting this out.
She did.
Like, she was
Yeah,
amazing in
totally.
it.
There's.
Yeah.
I'm talking about movie. I'm not talking about
Great
everybody's
character.
performance except for Tom Hanks is actually pretty good, which I'll get to.
Oh.
So I'm not. I love Tom.
Is that because he has too much adrenochrome?
Don't talk about Tom in that light. So Jenny's crazy. Jenny's also completely emotionally unstable, but she keeps Forrest. She keeps She keeps Forrest on the hook, and that's the worst part about her, right? Like Forrest, it's not going to work. Forrest shows up, tries to help her in the club where she's doing her strip routine, and she's like, "Forrest, you just don't understand," and like gives him shit for
beating the
trying.
shit out of that guy.
Like he's trying to help her, and she's just giving him shit. So she is not a good human being.
He's
okay?
heckling Mike.
Well, she can't get past the fact that he had like leg braces and shit.
I think just imagine being her as a
'Cause
child,
she's
the things
bad.
that she's going through with her father, and then Forrest is there being like, "Oh yeah, he's so loving towards them." Like that's not fucking good. That's not gonna help at all.
The movie says they went together like peas and carrots,
like peas and carrots,
but it's more like oil and fucking water.
I like
man.
peas and corn
like
better than peas and
spaghetti and
carrots.
milk.
It's like cereal and water.
Spaghetti and bourbon.
Kind of want that now.
In a saucepan, I could heat that up.
Yeah, no kidding. Get a little caramelized on that shit.
Awful
Third
stuff.
point, okay. The underlying message is simply that if you do what you're told, as in go to college, do what the government asks of you, don't rock the boat, you'll get what you want. Because Forrest just does the basic human plan, okay? And Jenny goes against the system. What happens to Jenny? She dies of AIDS. What happens to Forrest? He gets whatever he wants.
They didn't specify
actually
AIDS.
Okay, fine. She gets a deadly
She dies
disease.
a horrible death.
That's a horrible death and leaves Forrest and her child behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
The child's name is Little Forrest.
That little.
Yeah, is he
little-
Forrest Jr.?
Forrest Jr.
Yeah.
I
Also
have
Forrest.
Apple stock.
Is a little-
Imagine how much those Apple stocks are worth now.
Like his son is so impossibly rich,
No
and
kidding.
with bubblegum shrimp.
But hang on,
Like-
hang on. Is little
I think, does
Forrest?
he become Ferris Bueller? Does he become Ferris Bueller? The son?
These are all in the same universe.
Yeah,
Is little Forrest just a tree?
Little Forrest.
Is he just like a little spruce?
Get out!
Okay.
Get out, Mike! Get out of this house!
Somebody
Your own
needed
home.
somebody
Your
needed
own
to bring a
home.
dad joke in. I think that the fact that it's all American lore maybe kind of hurt the movie. Like it's very pro-America or anti-America, and in a lot of the different scenes. But there's no global story to it, right? There's nothing in Europe. There's nothing in Canada. Like how
I'm not smart enough to be global.
Well, but you know what I mean? Like, if they're taking the shooting of JFK and they're taking Martin Luther King and they're taking all of this historical value, which
Someone
is great.
shot his brother too.
Yeah, see? There is more to the world at the time that's happening than just America. So my
But
point
it's
is...
Forrest telling the story, so it's
It
from
is,
his
yeah.
lens.
It is.
Right.
They just...
So,
but
okay.
go ahead, Marty.
His 68
Can I ask this?
IQ lens.
Was there a movie before this that did something similar where it tied a fictional character into real life events? That's what I think what the movie was groundbreaking. I can't remember anything that
I did
that
enjoy
before this
that,
movie.
like
Yeah.
them superimposing him into
Yes.
certain, like meeting
Yeah.
Nixon.
We
and-
superimpose that shit.
yeah, I
And
did
they
enjoy
did.
that
They
very
take
much.
They took old film stock and then they just had some...
Like the Nixon,
PA,
like,
yeah.
or the
Yeah.
or no, that was Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson, and they just a real human hand, but then they just superimposed
Tom
old
Hanks' body.
footage from Lyndon Johnson.
I think
over
Tom
top of
Hanks
their
should be
head.
superimposed on everything.
Like that was just in the background of historic moments.
Yeah.
What else do I have? Tom Hanks' character only has a few notes to work with, right? He doesn't. His toolbox, and I love Tom Hanks. I think he's one of the best actors, but I think the character of Forrest, like the length of the movie, Forrest isn't really that, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but he's not special. There's nothing interesting about the character. Okay,
but he's not. That's the whole point of the movie. The whole point of the movie is he's not a special guy. He's just a regular nice dude.
Which is my argument.
But he does some spectacular things.
Exactly.
Because of happenstance and timing, and he's lucky. And I mean, luck is where preparation and
falls
opportunity
into a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like he could have had an NFL career if he really wanted.
But hang on here, guys.
Let's call Jenny 12.
The
Jenny
shit
13.
What I'm saying is the shit that happens on the shrimp boat, which is a different scenario than the shit that happens in the war. I see the same thing.
Okay.
I don't see a real distinction between Forrest's character in each scenario. You would think that
because
yes,
because he's still the same person.
Because he has childlike innocence the whole movie.
But guys,
that's
hang on
allure
here. Being shot in the war and then all of a sudden being a shrimp boat captain are two different scenarios.
Yes.
So you would think you would bring two different emotions to two different scenes, but it looks the same to me. If I take them and put them over each other.
Yeah, I don't think the character doesn't have that. He can't range those emotions.
That's interesting.
That was one of his handicaps, though, right? Like that was one of the
because isn't he maybe borderline
he could be on the spectrum,
maybe
a little bit.
So maybe he's not actually dumb. He's just
he doesn't understand things the same way.
I did look into this, and the closest thing any professional has said about if he was on the spectrum is Asperger's.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's not autism because
I mean
there's
he
no.
can read and write.
Yeah,
he's just not super articulate.
He has a learning disability by definition, right?
Okay.
He just learns slower than your average person.
Just an interesting little tidbit. Tom Hanks actually based a lot of how he played Forrest on the kid who played young Forrest.
Really?
Yeah. Like I can't remember where I read this, and maybe I dreamt it, but we'll go with it like it's true.
I want it to be true.
Yeah, he based a lot of his performance.
You should have had a sound effect right then.
Here's the cat.
No, you know what?
Was it Haley Joel Osment? Was the young Forrest?
I believe so. Yeah.
Really?
But Haley Joel Osment's not.
I think so.
He wasn't really in it.
He just the only thing he's good at is seeing dead people.
Isn't he normal? Like he does.
Yeah, he's a normal kid. He's actually a
he
smart
asks
kid too.
Jenny. He's like, "Is he like me?" And she says, "No."
No, but I thought you said the character was based on the actor that played him. But the actor
no, not
isn't
Haley
autistic
Joel.
or anything like that.
Not Haley Joel. Whoever played young Forrest. I don't know his name. I haven't seen him in other things.
I
don't mean Haley Joel.
Young. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Previous Forrest.
Young Forrest Senior.
I'm debating here.
Yes.
Okay. Lastly, he's the luckiest fucking human ever.
Yeah, it's called white privilege, bro.
No, this is beyond.
Get used to it, Mike.
Sorry, I've heard about this white privilege thing. But no, like when you write a character, this character rolls a 7 every fucking time.
Some people do.
Okay.
Well, think about
who can run that fast and break out of metal magic shoes, as well as get shot in the ass, as well as survive a hurricane while shrimping and pulling in a fucking bumper
I'm
crop.
a fucking awesome swimmer.
Like he's just at the right place at the right time,
always,
which gets old really quick.
Yeah, but isn't there lots of people in history that have fallen into that same scenario?
Definitely, but not like this guy.
Look at Jared Kushner. He's
people
an idiot.
who trip up.
Who fail upwards, yes, and that's what Hollywood is all about. So essentially, they're just writing the average Hollywood story into Forrest.
Yeah, they're writing a story about how mediocrity will result in awesomeness.
Well, which is a good point, but at the same time, my last 2 points are through a 2020 lens. This wouldn't work.
I agree. I don't like if this came out now. I don't see it.
And I'm not saying if it came out now,
I'd say it wouldn't come out.
It wouldn't. I would love to see it come out. But it would have to be done with a lot more care because there's a lot of the jokes in Forrest Gump are his learning disability.
Yeah,
are how he's come to get through life. So if you were poking prime example with Peanut Butter Falcon.
That's true.
Peanut Butter Falcon, right? I watched it. I loved it. I thought it was great. When Shia LaBeouf and him were at the Oscars last year, and he was having a hard time.
Is that with the kid that has Down syndrome?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're really good friends now. It is offset. They've become very tight. So on stage when he was like, come on, buddy. Everybody jumped on Shia LaBeouf for giving him a couple nudges on stage to get through his line. But when you look at it through a fresh pair of eyes, it's two buddies on stage who are like, come on, man. Like, let's figure this out. Not making fun of him. So you would have to really wrap this story in a lot of tender, loving care to make sure you don't piss off a lot of people.
Well, and
it's a great story, but it just wouldn't fly now because the morale compass at the time.
Well, it is kind of a period piece, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's
So maybe for the time it could
segregation,
work.
racism, prejudice. A lot of those things are.
So maybe because it's shot during that time, it could maybe
would-
it could
but-
work.
You would just have to get rid of the Forrest being the butt end of a joke now and lifting him up more, I guess.
But they do, though. That's the whole point, is that he's made fun of early on, but he is a good, genuine, real person that doesn't lie, and he transcends all these things, and it's basically showing you, and I know you're basically saying, oh, you're a good American and you're doing what you're told. I see where you're coming by with that message, but also I think there's on the other side, there's the wholesome message of saying, if you're a good person, good things will happen. Isn't that?
Unless you're
Can I build
Janet.
up
Hang
on
on,
that?
yeah, no,
Can I
we
build
got,
up
hang
on
on,
that,
guys. We
Rob?
got Martin,
Real
go.
quick.
Yeah,
I just
go
want to
ahead,
say,
Martin.
like, hey, so just to build up on that point, I think this movie is pretty much about the American dream and the fact that, like, Forrest, everything is stacked against him in the beginning of the movie, but even though
absolutely.
everything is stacked against him to not succeed, he somehow transcends that and lives the American
Touche.
dream of, eventually gets the girl, gets the family,
Lives the
gets the
American
money,
dream of
gets the
outrunning a
power,
truck.
and he gets to mow the football field just because he wants to.
He literally
Yeah,
does
he
it for
doesn't even
free.
charge.
Multi-millionaire mows the lawn for
Yeah.
free with the smallest lawnmower on the planet, too. By the way,
It's a snapper.
yeah.
My last point, and it's an easy one. It's fucking Oscar bait.
Oh, most definitely. I can see that.
He did win the Oscar 2 years in a row.
He did.
Right?
I do have some notes on this too. I'll tell you what he beat.
But
out.
the year before, he played like a lawyer with AIDS that was like
Philadelphia. Okay.
going up against the evil law firm.
which is one of the best fucking original movie stories I've ever seen.
It's a very
Philadelphia
good,
is
good movie.
mind-blowing.
It's heavy though.
You guys know that this was based on a book, eh?
What was
Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Forrest Gump, 1986 novel by Winston
It was
Groom.
based on the book Ready Player One.
It's only based on the first 11 chapters of the book, though.
You know what I didn't believe about that movie?
Ready Player One.
The most unbelievable part of Ready Player One is that everyone wasn't just Shrek running around. Like, there wasn't one person
Yeah.
who was Shrek. I think there would just be thousands and thousands of people.
Everybody
that
would
were
pick
the rights.
Shrek.
Every single
I think the
person.
right-
Well,
maybe?
like if you were playing like a buddy version of the game, Shrek and Donkey, definitely.
Oh, no, everyone's Shrek. Like, I couldn't see that movie being made without at least one Shrek.
Did
That's
you guys?
because they didn't want to pay the lawyer.
Oh, absolutely.
But isn't Shrek DreamWorks? And
think
Steven
so. Like,
Spielberg owns DreamWorks, and he
that's-
directed that movie.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, how could there not be?
Yeah.
Literally, if I'm playing that, if me and my
and if they paid
friends get
money for
together,
the DeLorean, of course
Right.
they're gonna have Shrek money.
if me and my friends get together to play that game, we're all playing as Shrek because there's no other reason.
Is that because you like Scottish accents?
That'll do, donkey. That'll do. That's not very nice. He's just a donkey. Terry Gilliam and Barry Sonnenfeld were both approached to direct Forrest Gump. Can you imagine
Who,
if Terry
Gilliam?
Gilliam,
like
Terry
flying
Gilliam,
circus?
flying, yeah, like,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
Barry
yeah,
Son-
like like every fucking awesome psychedelic
Fear and Loathing in Las
movie
Vegas,
made.
Terry Gilliam.
Time Bandits, Terry Gilliam. Fucking
Like-
Brazil, Terry Gilliam.
What?
12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
That'd be so. I couldn't. Okay.
Barry Sonnenfeld.
The
you know what he
Adventures
went
of
on?
Barry
Hang on.
Munchausen.
Barry Sonnenfeld went on to direct Adam's Family Values instead.
Wow.
That's what he chose to
That's
do.
a fucking epic movie, though.
Yeah.
There-
Okay.
Christopher
But
Lloyd was on point.
Robert Zemeckis was third pick. He wasn't first. And the novel also featured, which was eliminated from the movie, he would have been an astronaut, a professional wrestler, and a chess player had they
I kind of
carried-
like the professional wrestler, though.
Right?
Like I could have seen him doing
Instead of the
that.
football player?
I think that's what they did. I
feel like
couldn't find a
football
note
would
on
have been
that.
more relatable
Now,
for people.
I feel like I'm glad they didn't do the astronaut thing because they probably would have made jokes about how he was as intelligent as the chimps they were sending up or something like that.
Right? It
Which
just
I
would
don't,
have.
I don't know.
Like Michael said, it would have led to him being the butt of the joke, and that's
Yeah.
not the point.
Was what else was there?
I could see
There
the
was-
chess player thing though, but I still like the ping pong better.
Right? Because
Yeah.
ping pong seems like something he would definitely.
Mama said it was
destroy
all
at.
right if I told a little lie, a little white lie.
First weekend, it made $24 million out of a $55 million budget. And Industrial Light and Magic, which is now one of the top CGI companies in the world, was the one who did the Magic Lakes.
They've always.
I own the
been.
soundtrack on
They've-
CD.
It's
ILM
one of the-
always has, man. They did 77 Star Wars, bro.
I know, but like, they really, it's not one of their big credits, which is interesting, right?
That's funny.
do fucking every
No, I know
movie.
that. Oh, I know they do everything.
They don't have credits. They do fucking it all.
But like when you think
Have
of
you seen a
industrial,
movie? We've done it.
when you think of
Yeah,
industrial
what's your
lighting,
credit? Hollywood is my credit.
like,
All
the
right.
last 43 years of movies, I allow.
I have done that.
You want to see my resume? It's on a gig stick. Well, gentlemen, it has come to that time where we all break out our pads. Martin texts in his answer.
Before we,
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah,
honestly,
no, we gotta-
I
hang
still
on.
feel like we haven't had a chance to pile on this
Well,
movie.
and see, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's give it 5 minutes before we go ahead here. What would you guys like to say in regards to why you think it's not a
Well,
bad movie?
You want to go?
Let me
Go
say
ahead,
something
go
real
ahead.
quick. At the beginning, we talked about movies that make us cry, and when Bubba dies,
Wow.
that's a sad moment.
Forced.
No, it's not
Okay.
actually. It kind of made me giggle a little
It's-
bit. The movie-
Well, fuck. And
And-
just like the lack of emotion from Forrest on it too. It really drives it home.
But I think that drives to the point
Yeah.
that he can't convey that kind of stuff.
Can't
It-
register.
No.
And you know what's funny, guys? When this movie came out in '93, Allison Gilmore was the movie critic for the Free Press, and she wrote a scathing review of this. And it was one of,
Really?
and
Wow.
then she actually re-reviewed the movie a few months later, once it was kind of getting some Oscar hype and things like that. And
Once
then
she realized she was horribly wrong.
But it's
Let me
funny.
take this back.
It's funny because the fact that she actually kind of panned it at the beginning, maybe she was onto something, Michael.
I mean, in researching this, in researching it, there is a lot of hype out there about, like, when you go and when you Google most loved movies that are hated, this is one of the biggest hits I've
Totally,
found.
yeah, it is.
Right? And I'm like, you know what, maybe it's always been
So is
my
Titanic.
movie.
Yeah.
So is Ferris Bueller. So is fucking...
All four of our movies are actually on those lists.
They're all on the best 100 lists. Easy.
So is Captain America.
But is
First-
that...
God damn it!
Now...
Fuck.
Is that because enough people went to go see it and it's defined by its financial success? Is it defined by its Marty, you still there? We just dropped the phone
Yeah, no,
thing?
it's still plugged in. We're
Okay.
good.
Oh,
all right.
I'm still here. I can
Okay.
hear
It just fell off the couch.
Yeah.
You know what? I also think certain movies do well based on when they're released, based on you know how it fits into the culture at that moment, the lexicon of that moment, and just
Yeah.
the timing of it, right? And you know that's why sometimes movies don't hold up. Forrest Gump still holds up to a certain degree.
I'll stop
an
whatever I'm doing to watch
It's
it.
an easy movie to watch, but Robert Zemeckis also has that feel. Like that's why I love Back to the Future
Right? It makes you want to watch it again and again.
or The Polar Express. That's a fucking awesome movie.
He does have that je ne sais quoi, that certain thing that he...
that
he-
avant-garde.
Marty,
That
is there
avant-garde.
something wrong with the gravity in the future? Why is it so heavy?
Like, as soon as Zemeckis touches something, you know it's going to be a hit.
The one thing I have with Forrest Gump is I don't like that it's always on at 3 p.m. on cable every single day.
On TNT.
It just
Peachtree
doesn't,
Television.
Peachtree Hill.
Like, I just fuck off. It's like, okay, I get it. You had a 3-hour time slot to fill, but my fucking
Oh, but the
God.
movie takes 5 fucking hours
Yeah.
to watch with fucking
Oh,
commercials
yeah.
on TBS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
12 to
Oh,
5.
God.
12 to 5.
Fuck me.
Marty,
Yeah.
any final notes on Forrest before we vote and
I'm
count
gonna
points?
close before we vote by saying this. We had a debate. It was one of our first ones. I think it's probably between episodes 1 and 5 where we could pick a movie character to hang out with for the day.
Yep.
Who would it be? And Mike picked Forrest Gump.
Nope. I didn't. No, I didn't.
No, you voted. You voted for Forrest Gump. You voted for
I voted-
Forrest Gump.
oh,
Who
you're
should
right.
hang
Who
out with
chose
for the
Forrest
day?
Steve
Gump?
Taylor. picked
That sounds
Forrest
like the
Gump.
He won.
worst
Forrest Gump
day.
won.
Well, no, but
Is that to steal his money?
no, it's
Nobody
because
picked Han Solo.
Yeah.
Nobody picked Han Solo.
yeah.
Because you're
No
gonna
one
get
picked Han
killed.
Solo?
No.
You would get
No.
killed so fast.
Not necessarily. Not if you're just doing the Kessel Run, bro.
You're not Chewy. You're just a guy.
I want
Yeah,
to be
you're just
so
a guy.
bad, though.
You're just
Yeah,
a red
yeah.
shirt.
He's not. You're not. You're not hanging out with Captain Kirk, and you're a red shirt. Like,
I'd be scared
Oh,
all the
shit.
time.
No, Martin is right. I did pick Forrest Gump as a great hanger.
Forrest seems like the safest option.
But Steve's argument.
unless he's jogging across the country, then you're fucked.
Oh,
Can we just
Vietnam.
stop for a minute?
Jesus.
I just need to breathe, man. Can we take a second? You have had no water. How are you still?
water.
Like, what would you do if you hung out with Forrest? We just mow lawns all day? Is that it?
Well, no, but
and
Steve's
okay,
hang on,
so
hang on,
puddle
hang on,
water
hang
on your cross-country run.
Steve's argument was that no matter where Forrest is at any given time, something interesting happens to him.
That's
True.
not
That's true.
Yeah.
So, like, granted, being shot in the ass in Vietnam is off that list, but everything else, he has some sort of direct connection to pulp culture for about a 20-year time span. So, I mean, if you want to be where the action is, hang out with Forrest Gump. Let's fucking vote, gentlemen. Marty, you're gonna.
Points for this
Yeah,
week.
give me a second,
hang
give
on,
me a
hang on,
second.
Marty, hang on. We got the point tally here.
Rob Martin and I tied at 5. Mike, you had 3.
Somehow I feel this is weighted against me here.
It was the 1 point deduction from the start. I actually made it 5 point deduction. Just thought it was it wasn't fair to the rest of us.
Did you give him an extra point for wearing appropriate shorts?
You know what I didn't? So we'll put you at 4.
So you're at 4 points, good sir.
Still the only last place,
Yeah,
but
you give me a fucking point, otherwise Rob sees my balls next time.
all right, let's vote.
Are you gonna
All
wear
right.
like all mesh shorts?
Those aren't shorts. That's just cheesecloth.
That's the name of my next business venture.
Not
All
shorts,
right.
just
Cheese.
cheese.
Okay.
cloth.
Okay. So Marty, you're gonna text in again like always, and then
So
I'll,
we're choosing who we think won.
Yes, we're choosing who we think won. As always, vote for somebody else and not yourself. Oh boy. All right. This is what the sound machine is for. That's not plugged in yet. That I have to learn.
It's playing on the TV right
I'm
now.
ready
This is
whenever you
San
guys are ready.
Andreas.
All right. Yeah.
Just 1 second.
I think we're watching. Yeah, we're watching San Andreas right now.
I felt like they
Dwayne
made this
Johnson.
movie the first time when it was called 2012.
With John
Or
Cusack.
Dante's Peak.
That was John
Dante's
Cusack.
Peak.
Or Volcano, when the volcano actually erupts in downtown.
Well, I can
LA.
tell everybody listening and you guys that I'm working on a debate that focuses on the same movie
That was released the same year.
that was released the same year, but which one's better for the
Right,
story?
Paul Blart, Urban Report, those
Yes,
type of things.
that's the one I've been writing.
What's another good one? Armageddon, and then the other one where
The
Apollo
Core.
13.
Apollo 13.
No,
Was
it's
it
the-
the core?
No.
it's the one with Dennis Frodo in it.
Sean Astin.
And Morgan
Oh,
Freeman,
Deep
Samwise.
Impact. Deep Impact.
Deep
That's-
Impact.
oh,
Armageddon,
yeah.
that
So-
guy.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
bunch of these that we
Yeah.
could do.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
I'm ready when you are. On the count of 3, Marty, shoot your text over.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Martin, you
Yeah,
fucking
Martin,
killed
you
it, buddy.
But Zach Morris is trash. Yeah. Yeah,
So
Martin.
I want the record to show that mine says Titanic, but Zach Morris is trash.
And Martin voted for you, Jimmy.
All right.
Nice.
So-
I think another good episode we should do is where we talk about where an original movie was made and then the remake, and whether the remake was worse or better than the original.
Martin
That's
and me
interesting.
have been texting about something that we're playing
Because we could do
on.
that with like sequels and.
We could actually probably break that into 3 different episodes because there's enough remakes.
Yeah.
We could do just sci-fi,
Yeah.
just rom-coms, just dramas.
Well, yeah, we'll start with horror because that would be the funnest one. If you guys think there's something to this, you're more than welcome to send us an email at thereeldebaters@gmail.com. We will read it on the air. We will each take turns reading these emails. So the more of you that send them in, and Martin has come
Make
up
sure
with
there's good punctuation so we can accentuate when
Yes.
we're reading it.
Please know where
on
to
air.
put your exclamation points because if they're everywhere, we're not going
and
to scream.
semicolons.
Yes.
Semicolon is a very unused punctuation.
It is. But Martin has come up with a great idea, which we're working on right now, which we can tell you about. We're going to play a 5-second clip from a really known movie, but it's going to be a really vague scene. And you have to email in to win the prize, which I've realized that Landmark Theaters is North American wide, so we'll be sending out the winner a gift certificate via email to the winner. So
Cool.
our American fans, anybody in I also wanted to say this too before we continue on with our little closeout here. To California, thank you for listening.
Buy our merch.
Yeah, buy our skateboards, buy our mugs.
Please buy a skate deck.
For all of our American listeners, you guys don't have to pay stupid duty on the shipping. So
$35 skate deck.
$35 skate deck. And
That's in Canadian, so that's like $6 US.
yeah, it's
I'm not
fucking-
good with math,
Yeah,
but
bread is more
accurate.
expensive. But yeah, so go on threadless.com. Actually, go to our website if you want to buy any of this merch.
All
Go to
kinds of fun stuff.
Realdebaters.podbean.com for stuff like that.
Can I pay with PayPal?
Yeah, you can.
Can I pay
You
with
absolutely can.
Discovery Card?
Yeah, you can.
Perfect. So our American friends, you can pay with your Discovery Card.
Diners Club even maybe.
Excellent, excellent.
We'll take your Sam's Club.
Costco Amex.
There we go.
Marty, you got any shows coming up you want to promote?
I'm at Hood 29 on the 21st. It's a bar on Main Street here in Vancouver. Shows at 8 p.m.
Perfect. Jimmy?
Tickets are online somewhere.
Right on, right on. I'll be at Wee Johnny's on the August 29th and September 3rd. The 29th is for a themed show. It's a travel-themed show and how we haven't been able to travel, so check that out. September 3rd is New Faces of Comedy at Wee Johnny's, just showcasing all the local new faces of comedy here in Winnipeg. Definitely go check those out, both at Wee Johnny's.
And going forward, our cult movie nights is going to be happening. This episode's going to be out before we actually have a chance to talk about the one we're doing this week. But going forward, follow us on Instagram at Real Debaters if you are Winnipeg local or live anywhere outside of Winnipeg in the rural area and you want to come in and watch a really fun, weird cult movie. We're going to be podcasting from the lobby on those nights. The movie place, the theater, is the Park Theater.
Which movie's playing this
Dario Argento's Zombie.
Oh,
yeah, fun. It was gonna be opera.
No, Dario Argento was opera.
That was opera.
This is Lucio Fulci's Zombie.
You're right. Yeah,
which that's the one we're doing.
I was
on
really
Monday.
excited for opera.
Is that 70s?
Yeah.
Like early
Yeah,
70s?
79, I believe.
79,
Yeah.
yeah. So look out for that episode coming out soon. We're going to be podcasting.
He's got a really fun name.
He does, and Felucci, and I watched the 3 or 5 minutes of the opening scene of the movie. It actually looks.
I've never seen it.
Opera? Did you? I watched the trailer for opera because I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, so did
and,
I.
It genuinely looks like a really scary and fun movie to watch.
Zombie. I didn't watch anything about opera, which I want to now because Corey makes really great fucking picks for these nights.
Oh yeah.
But Zombie is about a doctor who came from an island somewhere in the tropics and was working on some sort of weird disease and created flesh-eating zombies.
Okay, cool.
And the boat
as one does.
And the boat somehow lands in New York Harbor, and then the zombie gets off the boat and then attacks, the human race and stuff.
That's awesome. Let me know when they screen Maximum Overdrive. That's the only movie I want to see there.
Okay. All right.
Can we do Christine instead? Is that fair?
It is what. Well, yeah. Let's tell them what to do so that it works best for.
I have nothing to promote. I'm not that cool, but buy Wolseley Kombucha.
there you go. There you go.
Sweet.
Anybody want to pick buy Wolseley Kombucha? Rob is Rob's fiance owns Wolseley Kombucha. So.
She does.
Yeah.
So if you want a refreshing kombucha,
Get booched.
You want to get booched? You want to get booched? That's gonna be our tagline. And we're gonna do a whole marketing campaign behind that.
Yeah.
You won't get booched.
Where is it? Where's the shop? Where can they go pick it up?
749 Wall Street here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. You can check us out at wolseleykombucha.com. You can arrange curbside or delivery directly to your house. Lots of swag on there. Awesome flavors. You can pick it up at tons of different retailers and restaurants around the Winnipeg area.
And good gut health is a good life.
Absolutely. Happy gut, happy life.
For anything Real Debaters, if this is your first time listening to us and you have yet to follow us in our social media, Real Debaters on Instagram and Twitter. That's REEL. The email address. The Gmails are therealdebaters@gmail.com.
Drop the.
Yeah. I wish I could. I tried to. I really did. It's actually The Real Debaters.
Oh, I meant at the Gmail.
Oh, at the Stop talking like an old man. And the website, thereeldebaters.podbean.com. I have been Michael Petro.
This is Rob Strachan.
Jimmy Skinner.
And in Vancouver.
Martin Navarro.
And we're gone.
Oh.
I got to say my own name this week.
I thought about it.
I think it's Bluetooth.
Okay, so it is Bluetooth. All right, perfect. I just wanted to make sure. All righty.
I got cat hair all over the mic head.
Is it cat hair or pubes?
Well, I was. You know what? It depends how low you go on the cat, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't.
Yeah, is cat hair close to their genitalia considered pubes?
Yes.
But they're not curly.
But if the hair is all over said cat, then wouldn't it be a pubic hair cat?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we need to do a microscopic analysis of this. We need to remove cat hair from various parts of the cat.
It's all around the mic.
And analyze what the difference is. So if the hair on its arms and torso and face is the same as the hair around its anus and or bits.
You were comfortable with anus and then you said bits?
Yeah. You went biological and then you went like children are in the room.
if they're exactly the same and you can't tell the difference,
Right.
is all hair on a cat then considered pubes?
This is for Mythbusters, I think.
I feel like that doesn't require that level of science degrees or
Do
scientific
cats
method.
have pubes? I don't know.
I think one of the guys from Mythbusters just died.
He did.
What's his he wasn't that old. He was only like
He's the engineer
49.
guy. He's the one who actually like built everything.
Yeah, the one who got all the.
He was like a
did all
side.
the
He
work
was,
and then
he was the
credit.
sidekick. He wasn't like the main guys. Like,
No,
the
they
guy
had
with the
their
old
three
timey
sidekicks.
mustache.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, the two original guys are still alive. I was gonna say, if we do this experiment, can we call it Schrodinger's pubic cat? Can we?
Ew.
Just
oh,
for-
so we're actually gonna do this?
Well, I mean, I have 3 cats, so
Do you want to do this on a podcast?
I could think of it as a bonus.
Could this be
episode.
like a subgenre style, kind of like offshoot?
Patreon.
some? It's a Patreon.
This is a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, it's a Patreon episode because we're in front of a paywall. So if you want to put up with this, you got to pay for
gotta
it.
pay.
So anybody
I
who's
think PETA might come down hard on us
Yeah, I
if we
think-
do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Why?
We'll
We're
get
not.
to-
Why?
yeah.
Because we removed a particular hair from a cat.
I think all we're
Yeah,
doing is
they-
comparing.
They're my cats, though.
Yeah,
I own them.
yeah. There's nothing wrong. Like if I took hair from Burger
Mm-hmm.
from different parts of his body, I can't believe I'm actually going down this road. But
This is all being recorded?
it's all being.
Oh,
Okay,
perfect.
great. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So happy to be in the room.
But like if we took so your idea, Rob, just before we talk about something movie related, is
good.
to take hair from all over Burger and compare its quality and coarseness and find out if
it's not a quantitative study. It's a qualitative study.
okay.
Right? So we would describe the characteristics. Maybe we would measure set degree, angle change, or colored differentiation amongst because
Curliness.
curliness. Exactly.
Vancouver, curliness.
I was trying to be scientific, but
Right.
I don't think that really exists in this.
Anus.
You were scientific with anus. You lost your scientific quality when you went to bits.